Hey you, get on this stick.
Yo, bring it.
Choose your fighter.
Yeah. How's it going, lads?
Fight.
Bang, bang, bang.
Flawless victory.
Side Quest Arcade.
Horses in the back. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Side Quest Arcade. I am, of course, your host, Man. And with me, of course, some of my IRL friends. We got Brian joining us, back from the dead, crawling up like a zombie.
Hey, everybody, how's it going?
We got Flint, aka Micro Manatee.
How's it going, lads?
And of course, we got Triggered Trevor. Reformed, by the way. Oh, he dabbed on him.
Oh,
What's going on there, bud?
Hey, Bryce, unfortunately, is not with us, so we got the four of us. And you know what? We got some stuff we're going to talk about. I'm just going to get right into it. Brian, fuck you, honestly. What the fuck? Seriously, what the fuck? This is bullshit. This is bullshit.
right.
The audacity of you. How I don't want to talk.
There's a history.
Flint, Trevor, you might as well hang up because this is going to be an hour of
Excuses.
just
I got them all.
This is fucking bullshit. How dare you? That game, okay, listen, people. So Brian comes into the Facebook message the other day. He's like, man, Monster Hunter World is a good game. This is so good. All day yesterday, I've been playing it. And I went, what the fuck have I been saying? The game came out in January of 2018. I've been playing it for 2 years, a year and a half.
oh boy.
Yeah, and I just picked it up like 2 days ago.
Guys, it's pretty good. This is
Okay,
good. I really
part
like
of it
this
was
game.
like, I just
All
didn't
the
think I'd
raids,
be
all the
into it.
updates, the whole time I'm just like, oh, it's so good, dude. I went to Brian's house and I brought it so he could
did.
try it.
brought
He was
last
in his
year.
domain and he's and now he has the courage and the audacity to come straight to my face and say, I like this game, it's amazing. Well, fuck you, Brian. I don't want to play with you. All right? I don't need you. I'm already the skilled hunter. Fuck you, man. I don't. And then you know what he says? Hey, old school VD2 listeners. Well, Derek said, fuck Derek.
That was
Derek's
explaining
gone,
some of the
and then he
history.
started
Derek
hanging out with
actually
me,
hasn't played
and
Monster
all
Hunter
of a
yet.
sudden it's, oh, you should try Monster Hunter. Derek said it was pretty good. What the fuck, man?
All right.
There's nothing
history
you can say
on that
to make
one.
this better. There's nothing you can say to make this better. I just want
All
you to
right, well, I'll still try
It's
my
over.
best to explain
It's
myself.
over.
All right.
Oh,
So before
holy
you
fuck.
came over in September, everybody convinced me to try Dauntless, right? Back in like July. And the short answer is I don't fucking like Dauntless. Something about it doesn't click. The mechanics just feel like shit to me.
I don't
Don't
like
get
Dauntless
it.
either.
Doesn't click. Don't like Dauntless.
I don't like
really at
Dauntless
all.
either. I'm just saying.
You said you do or you don't?
I don't. Do not.
Did not like Dauntless. And so I had
Poor
just
man's
finished
Monster
playing
Hunter.
Dauntless for like maybe a week and a half. And then Matt came over like 3 weeks later, brought Monster Hunter, and I was like, nah. I tried Dauntless and I didn't like it. And then, you know, a year and a half later, a year later, they've released it. It's on PlayStation, and everybody's saying, come play Dauntless, come play Dauntless. So I was like, all right, fuck it. I'll give it another go. I played it for maybe like a week. There was a bunch of new stuff in it. Still don't like it. There was a lot of things I don't like about it. I don't want to shit on it. A lot of people do like it. It's just not for me. It's particularly something about the way the characters play and the monsters fight. Don't like it. And so that was where Derek convinced me to come back and play Dauntless. I hadn't played games with Derek in like 8 months, and he's like, let's play Dauntless together. And then because I was like not digging Dauntless, I went to the PlayStation store to find something else, and then Monster Hunter was on sale for $20. And I was like, all right, for $20, I'm going to buy this. I'll give it a shot. And then I loved it. When you came over, I checked it. Literally the day you flew out, I was like, yeah, maybe I'll get the Monster Hunter. And I was like, $80? I don't know if I'll like it that much. I would have, now that I've played it. It would have totally been worth the full 80. But I didn't. It was greatly that $80 price point.
Son
And
of
then,
a
you know what?
bitch.
It's still full priced at like $70 in Canada. But it was
Yeah.
just on sale for $20.
Yeah.
for like 3 days, right as I was giving up. It's like they knew. It's like, hey, Dauntless just came out on PlayStation. Let's just put a massive sale on Monster Hunter instead.
Probably. That's a smart
And so I
idea.
bought it for $20, and now I'm like, shit, this game is way better than Dauntless.
It's
I
literally
love it.
in Steam's top 10 sales of all time. I want you to understand how popular Monster Hunter is. It's
I
fucking awesome.
knew it was popular. Just because it's
Screw it.
popular doesn't mean I'll like it.
Means that you should try it. You fuck.
Not for $80.
I brought it to your house.
And I played
You
it
better
for
try it
like
for a
an hour.
day for
We were busy
free.
playing Soul Calibur.
Oh yeah, but anyway, I'm just saying, man. And the game's it's got a big update coming, and it's free. Everything's free.
No, the big the Ice World or Iceborne is not free.
Oh, Iceborne's not. Yeah, I guess you're right. But whatever, it's fucking worth it.
I'm just hoping to get deep enough into it that I could dig into Iceborne when it comes
You
out.
will. Yeah. It's fine. The Witcher shit was free. You missed out.
Wait, where's The Witcher coming into this?
The Witcher Geralt shows up, and you can go on quests with him and shit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was a cross promotion or whatever. It was
Yeah,
awesome.
there's also cross promotion with Final Fantasy, where I think one of
Yep.
the monsters you can hunt is Behemoth.
Yeah.
Is that a limited time, or is that just still like the Behemoth?
They come
full
and they
game?
go. They cycle through. So
Okay.
you'll have an opportunity. Yeah. There's Behemoth. There's some Mega Man. Well, you can get old Sprite Mega Man costume. There's some shit
Oh,
like
cool.
that. Yeah. The point is, you're a fucking idiot. I don't care how much money you make with your 30K a year job, but your boy was right, and I want you to admit to everyone that Matt was right. This is bullshit.
Matt, you were great. Monster Hunter's a great fucking game.
Thanks.
Dunked on!
There is no contention here in this. I was You know what? Even if it's a great game, I didn't think I would like it. I didn't think the playstyle was for me. But now that I've played it, it's a genre I've never enjoyed before, and I'm loving it in Monster Hunter. So I would have never guessed I would like it as much as I have in the last 2-3
Are you
years.
not entertained?
I'm thoroughly entertained. I'm
feel-
farming.
I feel like the
Yeah.
past 2 years of my life have just been validated. Like I wasn't wasting my time. Because I was out of all you guys,
doing
I was
other
always
shit,
like,
and
I'm
Matt's
playing
like, no,
Monster
I'm
Hunter,
playing Monster Hunter.
and everyone else was like, fucking what? All right, whatever, dude. Like,
Go do your Monster Hunter
play
thing.
your
We'll go
Monster
play
Hunter.
real games.
and now you guys
I'm
are
playing it.
Brian's
It's
like, wish I played Monster Hunter.
I haven't done anything online yet, though. Like,
Oh, are you just doing the
Like
main,
solo.
the primary quest or whatever?
I've been doing a lot of farming. Like,
Yeah. But you're doing like the story mode, right? Like with the handler
Yeah.
and shit. Yeah. Okay. So basically, you really can't you can do online shit, but you kind of need to finish that. It's just low level shit and gear and all the rest of it. That's all.
Yeah.
So you're
I
doing
don't
just
see any
just
need
play
to,
through
like,
that.
play with other people. Like when I played Dauntless and I tried fighting monsters solo, like some of them it was okay, but I found the windows to attack in Dauntless were worse. Plus there was no flinching in Dauntless, and the dodge timing was different.
Yeah.
So I found it's better to dodge. I also found a lot of the monsters in Monster Hunter, it's far less punishing. Like Dauntless is such a fucking gear grind, differently than Monster Hunter was, where it's like, oh cool, yeah, it just hit me for 60% of my life.
You'll get there in Monster Hunter, but
I
it's
guess
it's
maybe I'll
basically
get
gear
there,
checking
but
though. Yeah. Have you fought the T-Rex for the first time?
Yeah, I've been farming them.
Okay, good.
I beat him on the first try, but
That's
I also
usually the
farmed.
first. Yeah, that's
I
usually.
was reading online that he's like the first real gear check, and he's
Yeah.
the first okay, cool. Now the game has started.
Yeah.
And you're past easy mode.
Yeah.
And I haven't fought any monsters since him. I've just been farming him to have
Good.
full I've got his armor, and I'm gonna get it to full set, and I've got
Good.
farming all the elemental weapons. And then
So
I'm
you're
gonna go
playing
to the
it
portal
correctly.
area.
You're playing it correctly.
But just the
is what I'm saying.
farming's more enjoyable.
It's so
There's just something about Dauntless 2 where it's like, oh cool, the best way to get these items is to just farm an elemental random monster, and you don't know which one you're gonna fight, so it's hard to farm parts. Just to farm a fucking neutral core, so I
Yeah.
can level my neutral weapons.
So the
Whereas
next
Monster
question
Hunter
was-
is just far more enjoyable, where I'm actually farming the parts I want to make the fucking creature.
Yeah, that
or
part
make
is
the
sick.
weapons.
That's
And you're
it's,
like, this
it's
is
way
so
better.
much better.
Yeah,
I
it's
was
100 times
fighting the
better.
Androth there, and I was
Most
getting a
people
little
just
mad.
call him
He's got a
Orange, dude.
mouthful of teeth, and it took me fucking 6 runs to get 4 fangs. But
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, that's if I'm not gonna tell you what weapon to use, but some weapons will make it easier to drop certain things, right?
Yeah,
a
I've noticed
hammer
certain-
is really good at getting teeth. So you
Yeah,
can
I
just-
figure I should practice the hammer some more.
Hammer's fun. I like hammer, but hammer and lance are usually what I use. But anyway, what I was gonna say,
Switch axe and dual blades.
that's good. See, and you'll just kind of like pick up little things that you like. But
I was using hammer for a bit, and I've thought about leveling one up solely for farming face pieces.
yeah, it's really good for that. So my next question is, when are you getting it on PC?
You have it on PlayStation though.
Yeah, but PC version's better.
What's better about it?
It's on a PC.
61.
Done.
All right.
Got him there. You got him there.
Fucking doesn't lag. Dauntless 2, like I heard it's flawless on PC. But I was playing on PlayStation because that's where Derek was playing, and Derek doesn't have a PC anymore. He sold it a while ago.
Yeah.
And fucking thing is, like, I meant to talk about it previously, and I think I just jokingly said my week was Dauntless and Dirt because I was playing Dauntless. Well, the game is so poorly optimized for the PlayStation. Like 3/4 of the fight are a lag fest.
Yeah.
Like I don't get more than 10 frames per second at any time, and my internet is not slow. Just most of the fights. Derek has a PlayStation 4 Pro. I just have a base plate model. Both of them lag to hell. Like it is just so poorly optimized. Yet Monster Hunter's prettier. Like it looks nicer.
Because it has a real budget. It's not an indie game. It's Capcom.
Indie game. It's made by fucking Epic.
Oh, is it?
Dauntless is made by the guys that have
Oh.
I didn't
Fortnite.
know that.
Dude, they
Well,
can't
that-
even
that
make a
is the
store.
problem.
They can't even make a
So, you
store,
know
bro.
what? I was gonna say that Epic can't, dude. Epic just got Fortnite, and let's be real, that's about it. Like this might as well be an indie studio. Like,
Yeah, fair enough.
But I mean, let's
Okay.
be real. They have
No.
they have Unreal.
oh, you're right.
Oh, they know how to
Right,
make a
right.
game engine, but that doesn't
Yeah,
translate
sure.
into
Yeah.
making an
Yeah,
actual.
yeah,
game.
but like
the moral of the story, the
they got
moral of the
money.
entire
Oh, yeah.
story is that I am godlike at games that I play, like choosing games. Like there's no one better. And if I say this game is good, you better at least fucking try it before you
I'll
say
fucking
a
try
year
it.
and a half later, be
'Cause I
like,
know
"Oh, it's a
you
good
wouldn't
game."
let me use
It's
the
a good
$80
game.
excuse anymore.
It's a good game. No, dude, you make 30K a year. I know. I've seen your house. That you,
Dude, I'm about to see his house. I'm fucking pumped.
yo,
1 month.
Dude, we're gonna go
We'll talk about that.
so much hiking. You just have to listen to me bitching about how sore my feet are. But we will go out to the mountains like
I'll be there for a few days.
every other day at least.
For a few days, I'll be there.
Hell yeah, the boys.
Anyway, the point
A
is,
few
the
days
point-
Matt's is here, we might have one hike and then just drinking in games for 3 days, and then Matt
yeah.
leaves and then back to the mountains. But
Yeah. You
Perfect.
guys, we should
you have to
definitely
learn
do that.
patience when there's a nice photo and you're just not hiking for 30 minutes as I'm standing there.
You all got Smash Brothers and Switch and controllers and shit.
Party games, yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. I want to play some. Yo, has the Hero come out yet? I was gonna ask you guys. When does he come? out?
Not yet. That's
it.
like late 2019, I think.
Oh, okay, that sucks.
Late?
I
thought-
love. Okay, I don't know if you guys talked about that, but because I haven't been around for a while, but just the reaction from people at the Hero, where they're just like, nobody wants this, and it's like,
Oh, we
"Are you
did, yeah.
insane? Are you
Everyone in
insane?"
Japan
Like,
wants this.
North America maybe doesn't want this, but Japan's like, who the fuck is Banjo Kazooie? And like tables are flipping and
Dragon
fucking, like,
Quest.
people are shooting fireworks. Like the
Flint and I-
hero from
yeah.
Dragon Quest
Flint
is
and I
in
were-
Smash Brothers.
Flint and I were talking about it
Fireworks,
last
party.
episode, or yeah, I guess it was, or whatever episode we talked about it. When we went to Japan, dude, there's fucking Dragon Quest shit everywhere. Like
Yeah,
slimes and the logo, and they had that VR, place.
studios, yeah.
VR studio like dedicated to Dragon Quest. You can go play this game that we didn't play.
I
We
just,
went.
Like
Yeah.
some of us get it, right? Where it's like,
Yeah.
look, that's big globally, not necessarily in North America. But I just saw Twitter exploding with people being like, "What a waste of a character slot! Nobody even wants this."
It's like,
And you know what?
literally-
It's gonna be one of the most ballin' characters, probably. Like they probably put
yeah.
a ton of work into making it awesome. So what's gonna happen is
I
all
mean,
the North American players
all
will
of
be
the
like,
old-
Banjo
Watch
who?
him be like,
All
I
of
play
the
the
top
hero,
tier,
bitch.
top tier. Like like Bayonetta Meta Knight level, like
Oh
disgusting.
no!
Like
I hope not.
I did love the troll they did in the trailer though with Banjo Kazooie, and I'm probably 3 episodes too late, but I've been gone a long time.
This is true. The point is,
Don't
Ryan,
fuck
you
on.
fucking suck. I don't respect you. I don't like you. Flint, what have you been up to for a week?
Dude,
Or
this
last-
week's been fucking single player Flint alone time, man. I don't know. I felt bad
Sometimes
because
you
everyone,
gotta.
the boys are playing Smite, and I would get home after work, and I'm like, man,
Oh, we'll get to Smite.
I just wanna chill out and like not talk to the humans for a little bit.
I get that, dude.
No offense to the boys. I love the boys. I love playing with the boys, but I was just like weird headspace. So I fucking
Flint, can you for the thumbnail for this one make us the old Spider-Man villain, the boys?
Oh,
yeah, 100% I can. 100%.
I'm calling Rhino, by the way. I call Rhino. Dude. I love that. I love his face. He's like.
I feel like I'm taking Vulture because I'm the oldest.
All right, I'm taking
Fair enough.
Electro. Who's the last
yeah,
one?
that was already determined because
Goblin, dude.
you're
You
like, I
goblin.
want to be the cute Electro when we're in
Oh,
the
yeah, I
in the
remember
meme
that.
chat.
I
Yeah.
remember that.
I'll forever remember that.
Alright, so just remember that for the thumbnail.
Fuck yeah, dude. I'm a cutie.
Sorry, I cut you off. I
No,
cut you
it's
off.
all good, dude. I've been playing a lot of Total War. Accidentally picked the bad guys. So there is a story mode, right? Like you play, and it's it sucks up your entire week, as I found out. But I was playing, and I'm playing the game, and I'm like, oh, the Empire has like guns, which is OP as fuck, because everyone else has a bow and arrow, and I get guns. That's freelo. I want guns. So I'm playing, and they're like, you're the Emperor. I'm like, all right, cool. And they have like cutscenes, and it starts out, and the Emperor's like, we will reunite the Empire. And I'm like, dope. That's a good plan. Good to have goals. Fucking put it on your calendar. I like that. And then he's like,
Yeah.
and we'll get rid of the green-skinned scum to the south. And I'm like, okay, well, orcs are pretty evil. They eat people. I understand. And he's like, and the abominations to the east. He's talking about vampires. I'm like, okay, yeah, no, vampires also, like, I'm with you. I'm hip, I'm with it. And he goes, and the mongrels to the north. And it's just other people. Like, they're just regular dudes that are also the same faction as me. I'm like, oh! And then I get to see their troops, and they all have fucking, like, skulls on their helmets. And they're all fucking marching in step, like, we will restore the Reichland. I'm like, bro, come on. Come on, bro. What? Why am I the bad guy? He didn't look like the bad guy. He was like riding a Pegasus, he had a big fucking hammer, and he was like, honor and glory. But then like he starts talking, and you're like, oh, I'm the bad guy now. I understand. I get it. I'm hip. I'm with it. But I also get rocket artillery, so it's like, I just use that as like, because there's negotiation as well as combat. So the vampires are like, yo, we want peace because you have artillery. And I was like, that's a cool story. And I just put like 40 fucking tanks on his border. I'm like, well, I don't know, man. I hope you can fucking suck blood out of a tank, I guess. Fucking see what happens. Mad shit talk. Other than that, this week has been like D&D week, which is just so wholesome. I'm all about it, man. So I've been prepping for that. I played in Brian's session.
Man, it was a long time between sessions.
It's been a long time coming, man.
I went to Japan, and then it just wasn't like able to last set off. Now we're playing 2 sessions in like this one set at home.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking sick. And almost died again. It seems to be a recurring theme.
Like, to be fair, it's not even my fault.
No, I was being dumb as fuck.
I gave him an item called the Boots of Bounding. Didn't really think much of it, which allows him just to leap really far. Then we had these maps that all have like these crevices in the way, like, canyons and other shit. And Flint's just like, and I leap, and I'm surrounded by 4 people, but like I'm a barbarian. And Flint's just down and up, down and up. And other people are
literally
like, running the long way around, trying to come save Flint's ass. And he's just like, yeah, I kind of did it to myself. Then I crit him 3 times?
Yeah, you ate my asshole out, bro. That sucked. It was my own fault though. Like I was playing like Trevor said, like I was playing an arena game. I was like, I'm gonna punch this thing, and then I'd land in the middle of everyone and go like, I'm in kind of a little bit of danger, and then I fucking die. But that shit was fun. I honestly, when I got those boots, I thought, there's no way I'm ever gonna use these. This is like a.
And now apparently you're just gonna use them all the time.
That's my hard engage tool, bro. If we're playing a MOBA, playing D&D MOBA, that's my hard engage.
He now has heroic leap.
Hell, what a segue. Also been playing Doom when I haven't been playing Total War. or doing D&D prep to ruin Bryce's life. That game is fun as fuck. It's always one of those ones where I want to just like sit down and play it, but it's fucking clean and smooth. I don't think I've played a first-person shooter that's been that fluid in a long time, and I'm actually pumped for the new game. Not gonna pre-order it, but I am looking forward to it coming out, because holy fuck, this game is so much fun and pretty on ultra settings. I don't know if you guys have played that one before. Probably.
I'm just not into Doom.
Just not feeling the
I
aesthetic.
like
or
some
what?
shooters like it. Like Bulletstorm, I was super into, but I don't know, Doom, I've just
It
never really clicked.
I
I
would
think it's just over the top for me.
yeah, it is like super gory and just like gratuitous. But I mean Bulletstorm was like that too, the same way.
Is that the one where you get like
Yeah, but
those
it's, like, even
executions
more
up in close
excessive.
range that like reload?
I don't think they reload, but you get like health and ammo when you do it.
Oh, okay,
so.
that's the ones.
But basically, it's a quick way to take down like big characters because you can stagger them with your gun and then just grab them and fucking knee their skull so hard it explodes or whatever.
I remember watching. There was a really cool talk about like game development. And they were talking about different things people will do to like get the feel for their game. And Doom was actually used as like a strong example of game mechanics designed to force you to do what they want. And so they had Doom, and people were so concerned about like ammo conservation and just various whatever. They just played super far back and were just trying to like use all the long range weapons. But they wanted people to just be in the carnage, just like in there, just fighting, right? Like that was the vision they had. Then when they came up with that mechanic where it's like, oh, you get the execute and you get health back and you get ammo, and then it's just everybody turns in where they're just, and then they reduce the regular ammo drops otherwise, and you're just in there, fucking crushing skulls, and you're in the combat. And it was like one change in the design led to the game to being far more enjoyable.
They're really smart. They're the same guys that made Wolfenstein. Trevor, you might like Wolfenstein more than Doom if like it's like too over the top craziness for you in Doom.
Yeah, and I think I will. I just got to get around to playing Wolfenstein.
Yeah. They're usually on sale, so I would check in. Like at least the first two. There's 3 games. Third one's still fairly new, so it's probably not going to be on sale. But the first 2 will be, and those were a solid like 25 hours of my time. It was just like playing Wolfenstein and enjoying the fuck out of it. And it's more stealth based and tactics. What else happened? Oh yeah, my sister came down. She's away. She came back from the woods. I got to catch her up on all the Nintendo news because that's all she cares about in terms of gaming. Like I leveled up her D&D character with her, and then I just told her about all the crazy shit. And when I told her about Animal Crossing, bro, she was vibrating in her fucking chair. She was like, I can't fucking believe they're doing it. I can't believe they're doing it. Oh, you can edit paths. It's like, all right, man. It's all good. Don't worry. That game has an insane following. That, like I think everyone at some point has probably played Animal Crossing, either like on a friend's DS or something.
We had it. My sister was huge into it. I think she still plays some of them. My sister, though, was doing like it was back in the GameCube, back when she played it, and she was doing the thing where she would then like save, turn it off, change the date on the GameCube, log back in to just keep playing. Where the game was designed, even in the GameCube days, to be played kind of like a mobile game. Where you kind of come in, do your stuff for the day, and then leave, and then come in, do your stuff for the day, and leave.
Yeah.
So I remember, like, as soon as she bought it, I just went and checked one day, and like my fucking GameCube was like 2 years ahead. It's just like,
why am I in the future? What
the fuck is going on? And then I like changed it back, and then the game like freaked out at her, and she screamed at me, and I was like, "Whoa, all right!" Like I didn't know what was going on. My GameCube was just on the wrong date. I thought it was broken.
Yeah, just fixing my fucking system.
It'll
Here.
accuse you of cheating, won't it? If you change it
Yeah,
back?
if you set the date back, it accuses you of cheating. Yeah.
Yeah,
man.
I know if you like shut down too without saving, like Mr.
Yeah,
Rossetti,
Mr.
like,
Rossetti.
it's
Dude,
like
that
angrier
part.
and angrier and like starts threatening you.
They're getting rid of that in the new game though. Rest in peace, Mr. Rossetti.
You have autosave.
Yeah, they have autosave now. That's the kind of game where they listen to everyone and we're like, we're gonna improve all the little things that you guys have been complaining about.
See, fuck that. Hold on here. Fuck that. You are happy that a man lost his job?
Absolutely.
What
Dude,
the
that's like
fuck,
being
dude?
mad that the milkman lost his job. Like, bro, I don't need you to deliver my 2% to my fucking house. I can
Oh
just
my
go to the
God.
grocery store.
Okay, look at Big Man Flint. Doesn't care that a milkman's got a family to provide for.
Dude, he's probably just fucking everyone's
That
wife.
was
Why do I give a
probably
shit about the
big
milkman?
deal in, like, the
Yeah, we
fifties
saw
or
what
whatever.
happened to Goofy. All right, we saw.
Listen, I worked as a
Mhm.
Rossetti as a summer job once. All right. This is why, you know what? I was saying back then, yo, guys, we got to unionize. This is bullshit. We're going to get this autosave's coming. Autosave's coming. I kept telling them that.
I didn't believe
I
you.
was gonna
and now
jokingly say I don't think you're angry enough, and then I remembered how you started the episode, and it's like, yeah, no, you're probably really good at that.
look. He's riled up, dude. Yeah.
What are you talking about? That was legit. Don't.
That was
don't.
no, Brian. Don't underplay that. That was legit anger. I'm still pissed.
No, yeah,
I'm
no.
still
I
pissed.
remember how
All the
angry you were at the
lonely
start, and I was
raids,
like, no, you're
all
definitely
the
angry enough
raids
to
and
be a
all the
Mr.
work I had to
Rossetti.
do by myself.
Dead ass,
Meanwhile,
man. If
I work hard.
Matt was actually Rossetti, and I probably just wouldn't save my game on principle, man. Just to see him pop out of the dirt like, hey, bitch, save your fucking game!
I didn't see Matt. This is the third time I've been here, Flint.
low key want an M-rated Animal Crossing just for that. Hey, you dumb motherfucker! What the fuck's wrong with you?
I feel like
Fucking-
if you made an M-rated Animal Crossing, Rule 34 would take over stronger.
Oh,
than
that's true.
Animal
It'd just be
Crossing.
porn.
Yeah.
That's all it'd be.
Animal Crossing with swears, dude. Oh.
Animal Crossing with swears. There you go. Rated T. T. 18.
18 plus. Well, fucking Trevor, how was your week, buddy? I haven't
Trevor,
fucking.
what are you up to?
It's been pretty good. I'm gonna be real. I'm still on the movie grind
Hell yeah.
this week.
You saw Godzilla?
No, I've been doing the Netflix grind.
Oh,
Real
I feel
talk.
it. So you watched the animated Godzilla?
Well,
Dude, it sucks.
actually,
Don't watch
I
it.
saw it. I have seen it before.
My
Not
dad's all
recently.
about that
I
movie.
saw it a
Man.
long
You gotta
time
have
ago.
words with him.
Dude, it sucks. Dude, it sucks dick. I don't know what to tell you.
I've also seen the animated shit, what was it? God, it was so bad. I'm purging it from my memory. It was another one of those like live
SSS
action
Gridman?
that got remade into an animated off story. I'll have to look again.
Gridman, Trevor?
But
Is it Gridman?
Great man.
oh, let's not talk about Gridman. Fucking
Let's not.
easy. But I watched Train to Busan last night. Hadn't seen that yet.
Quality movie. If you guys haven't seen it, you two, fucking watch that movie. Rest in peace, Korean Hulk, bro. Oh,
Dude, that guy was.
I'll tell you
fucking
what, Flint.
off.
Flint, I'm gonna take your suggestion. Remind me in a year and a half, and I'll go see it.
all right, bro. It's already been out for a year and a half, man. Is it
I
all
don't know
my
what to tell you,
suggestion,
man.
or is
you
it
just
like
told me about it? No, I'll set a bot reminder. A year and a half from now, I will watch this movie.
all right?
I'm on it.
Someone in the chat remind him.
I watched season 2 of Dark. I don't know if anybody in here is a Dark fan. It is.
Never heard of it.
Netflix and TV shows. I've been like sorting away from that for the longest time because Netflix, unless it says limited, is just we're gonna exploit the hell out of this, and we're just gonna drive this sucker into the ground over many years. BoJack Horseman has been the only exception for me. I've thoroughly enjoyed it with every season, but everything else has been garbage.
What
I
about
agree.
Daredevil?
I don't feel like Netflix has
I
been
don't-
anywhere near as good as it was. Like
Daredevil was good.
They have really good first seasons. Daredevil's
first
alright.
seasons are
I don't
always,
think
like,
it was as
fire.
big of a down.
Oh, okay.
Daredevil, I thought held up pretty good throughout them. I did like all the Daredevils. I didn't care for Jessica Jones season 2. I'm 3 episodes into season
Yeah.
3, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
I don't-
Jessica Jones.
I don't like season 1. Probably
The
my favorite
Defender.
of all the Marvel.
Whoa. I could
Season
not
2,
get past
I was
episode
like,
1.
the hell is
Except for
going on?
Iron Fist, dude. Iron Fist was a joke from the get-go.
Dude,
Yeah, Iron
oh my
Fist was never
god.
good. I think the casting of the main actor was poor. Like he just
Oh, super poor, dude. Super
'Kay.
poor.
Do you guys remember when he was fucking? I don't know if you finished Iron Fist, but he was fighting that dude, and it was like Drunken
told me
Fist
this.
Man.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
told me
he
this.
was supposed to
You
be
told me
Iron
this.
Fist. He was supposed to be Danny. That would have been so much better. Fuck.
just the guy that was playing him. It's like I tried looking up the lore, and he's
Ah!
super badass. And the actor, I don't know.
That
man,
just
he
sucks
just
dick,
wasn't-
dude.
He's
He
bad.
was not good casting. And I
He
think
got that
really
Game
hurt.
of Thrones clout. He was like, bro, I'm Loras, but I died already. And fucking dad put me in Iron Fist. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
Spoilers. Spoilers.
He's too scrawny.
Who cares?
He just like you see him and he's like doing fighting, and you're like, I just I just don't buy it.
He just didn't.
Like-
There was so many jump
Brian, are you
cuts.
saying- are
He
you
just
saying
didn't do his choreography, bro. Like he
You
didn't. He
say
didn't
skinny
learn it.
guys can't fight?
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Also,
Square up!
square up! I'll fucking show you the featherweight championship right now. That shit was so
Brian's
fucking
thinking
hard.
about this answer
Skinny
real
guys can
hard.
fight, but
I'm putting Brian on blast
Iron
today,
Fist
boys.
shouldn't be a skinny guy. That's
Alright.
like skinny Hulk. You're just like, what the fuck?
What about Spider-Man?
I mean,
Spider-Man is supposed to be skinny.
to be fair, there's a reason John Jones isn't fighting like Conor McGregor right now. Weight classes are a thing.
Yeah, dude. Because of the crack. That's why he's not fighting.
No, I thought it was because of the steroids, but maybe like the
Oh, either or.
picograms,
Probably a little bit.
maybe. I don't
What
know.
about that? What about crashing into a pregnant lady's car and then running away? What about
No,
that?
no,
That was
that's
probably-
we're fine
That
with
was
that.
probably
now.
a factor too. Fucking John Jones, man.
He's the worst, dude. I fucking hate him.
You hate him because he's so good, and he just doesn't care.
Yeah.
You know, like if he just like fought and was like GSP and just was like, I'm just gonna train and fight, you'd be like, this is the coolest guy ever.
But then he's like, I'm gonna train and fight, but then also do crack, but then also do steroids, but then also run over a pregnant lady, but then
Yeah.
also don't care.
Bill me.
Hey,
Like,
Brian, we interrupted Brian. I'm sorry, Brian. Go back to Iron Fist.
No, I think I was interrupting Trevor. So I'm sorry, Trevor.
Ah, fuck it. I'm sorry, Trevor. The wheel turns.
what up? Trevor?
I was getting at, I will advertise Dark Season 1. If you've never heard of it, it's a Netflix series out of Germany that I don't want to spoil what it's about,
Okay.
but it's a mystery, borderline thriller, I guess. It is actually really good. You can even use the dubs because they actually have English dubs, and the voice acting is really good. Like you notice it for the first little bit, and you're like, all right, the lips are off, you know, a little bit. But after the first 10, 20 minutes, the whole rest of the show, I just didn't think about it. I just watching as normal. And like, oh yeah, it's dubbed. Forgot, But they do such a good job on it. It is genuinely great. I didn't realize season 2 was coming out this weekend, but I binge watched the whole thing Saturday morning, and it was. I wish Netflix had just cut it at one season, but I don't hate that there's 2.
Right.
Granted, they're going for 3. That I do hate. Now
Yeah,
I'm kind of like, now I have a hard time advertising it. But as one season, you kind of could have just called it for the most part. The season 2, they had a reason they could, they bring it up in the next season, kind of thing. Like what they did with Stranger Things. Stranger Things they could have cut. They didn't leave enough loopholes for it really to matter. But at the beginning of the second season, like, all right, well now we're explaining the reasons.
Stranger Things
win
is
you over.
interesting. I don't know if it was ever made with the real intention of a second season. Like they had the little bit of
think it
cliffhanger
was.
at the end. But
Yeah.
you could have that first season and have that little moment.
Yeah, and that
in
just
the
be it.
last scene. And you could totally leave it at at the end of season 1 and like it could be satisfying.
I just got
Yeah.
way.
I
popped.
thought that Stranger Things, like I saw a lot of people hating on season 2, but the thing I found with season 2, and you can't really blame season 2 for it. I thought season 2 was actually fairly well made. I thought the story was pretty engaging and like I in general enjoyed it. However, you can never really capture the mystery that season 1 had, right? Like that I think
Yeah.
that's sometimes why you've got things that are like, really good in the beginning and then people don't like it later, where it's like, well, you've got this story, you have, the upside down and they're trying to like learn about it. But now when you get to season 2, you know about it. Now you're trying to deal with it. And it's the only natural progression that can really happen. You can't capture that same level of mystery the season 1 had. It's pretty much impossible. Without some shows try to do it where they go from mystery and then they go to the second season where it's another mystery and you're just kind of like, come on, man. Like, are they just going to be completely in the dark forever? And so I like season 2 and I'm looking forward to season 3.
I feel like they're doing the Trimmers thing. I don't know if anybody's seen the Trimmer movies, but
Fuck.
it's just like
Yes.
you have the first movie that's like, all right, what the fuck's going on? And then like Brian says, you figure it out and the mystery's gone. It's just how do you deal with it after? And so like, all right, but here's a twist. We come back every time with a slightly different monster.
Bro, the Tremors movie is fucking great. That first one dude, you know what line? There's so many lines in that movie that are like funny like one of my favorites is when the graboid, the first time it like Kevin Bacon's about to die, and it like, because for those who don't know, Tremors is about a worm that's underground and fucking digs through, but they're blind, right? And Kevin Bacon hides behind like a wall that's like, it's like a sewer pipe or something, and the worm fucking like smashes into it and dies, and Kevin Bacon thinks it's gonna kill him, and he's like, and he looks at it and he sees it's dead, and he's like, ha, fuck you, and the way he says it is so funny, dude. I
Is it one of
crack
those
up
movies
every
that's
time.
great because it's bad?
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, yeah,
it's well,
100%.
here's
Yeah.
the thing. It's not
Yeah.
even that bad. Like, it's good.
The other ones
Okay.
are.
Yeah, the other they get really, really bad, but
Okay.
they're still kind of fun to watch. But like that first one is actually like I'm not a bad movie. You know what I mean? Like, it's not. It's kind of dumb. It's low key, but it's funny. And the way the characters get around, they do cool stuff. And you're like, oh, this is actually like, it's a good movie, but it's kind of dumb.
Yeah. It
You know
works.
what I mean? Yeah. Kevin Bacon's great. I love Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, shout out to the Tremor movies. I don't know about the new one. I never got around to it.
Oh, I never saw
because
it. No.
After like Tremors 13, I kind of gave up on that series.
The Old West one, dude.
What,
Dude, oh my god, I saw that one.
You tell me you can't give Tremors a 14th chance, bro? What the fuck?
You're
Sorry,
committed
After
at this point.
13, you're committed, right?
Yeah,
Like, there's
dude, it's-
shows where
I should.
it has to go. It has to go so bad, like before you give up on it, because by the time you get to the 9th season of Supernatural, you're in.
Yeah.
And now you're there till it's
Like,
done.
wow, I gotta watch, dude.
Like I'm committed now.
do you like it? It's like, no, but
I still enjoy it. The
I-
character,
a lot
I
of
mean, it was
people
partly a joke, but like
yeah,
the
yeah,
charisma of the main characters, you could watch those two all day, every day.
yeah. That's what I've heard people say about Supernatural.
And like, but there, I can rave. I haven't caught up on the last 2 seasons. I got to catch up.
yeah.
But there's just this like, they get almost tongue in cheek, right? Where it's like, well, after you deal with the devil, what do you deal with? Oh, okay, this other thing, and like they've got this just
The
constant
devil's
escalation of
mom.
bad, and until you literally get to God's ex-wife, and in a later season, or God's ex-wife, I think, or is it his sister? I can't remember, but. And
I don't know what
like
matters.
it's just like on this escalation to the point where they're having like casual conversations with God, and you're just like, how does this just keep escalating? And the brothers are just like, how do we keep saving the world? Like they're almost tongue in cheek about how like crazy this is. They're like,
Yeah.
we've saved the world 4 times, we've died 3 times, like each of us have died 3 different times. We've been to hell and back. I mean, and we've managed to regain our sanity. Like going to hell doesn't drive us crazy anymore. And they're like, how is this still going? And that was in like season 11 or 12. They were making that joke. And then they get to like 15 seasons. They just keep going and keep going and keep going.
I'm happy when a show like that keeps going.
It's borderlines on soap opera for length,
Yeah.
right? Where it's just like,
Yes.
Basically is at this point. Like, it's, what do these two get up to this time, right? Like,
I'm still going to catch back up on that soon.
yeah.
I would love them to do a season where it's just regular. They're just going after like little minor creatures again. And like, what's the next big thing? Nothing. You just have to go kill this like witch or whatever.
Yeah.
But where's
It's
Satan?
kind of funny
Yeah.
because like, they've gotten so good at the hunting, right? Like I remember some of the earlier ones when they're dealing with the vampires, they're getting hit around, and then by later seasons, they're so veteran and so skilled that they take on like military, and Dean just like sneaks up on them, like knocks 2 out cold, steals their weapons. It's just like, this is pathetic, right? And it's like,
Yeah.
but they're like indicated to be like the most powerful, like well-trained U.S.
kinda have to be,
military
yeah.
soldiers ever. So I feel like if you got back to that, it would just be Dean and Sam just like slaughtering worthless small monsters.
Yeah, but then they're also paranoid that the world's about to end, but it doesn't. So they're just like, "Where's the next catastrophe?" And they're like, "There is none. You did
There
it."
is none, dude.
And they're like,
They're
"What?"
like, they're like, dude, if you want, you could go to Flint, Michigan, and give them water. I don't know. Try that.
Yeah, fine.
Maybe.
I hear they're thirsty up there. Yeah.
Of
No
course, they'll
demons,
get
man.
lost and go
That
to
would be
Flint's
kinda
house.
funny.
And
It's kinda
Are
like
there
just, like,
demons in the
max level
water?
characters
Yeah,
in Marvel
yeah,
Marvel
exactly.
Dungeons. Like,
Exactly.
It's like, no, they just don't drink water. I don't know what to tell you.
Side thing, they made a fucking Tremors movie last year. I don't know if that's the one you guys are talking about.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. That's what I was
A
talking
cold
about.
day in hell. Tremors.
Oh my god. Yo, we should watch Tremors, seriously. Okay, Trevor. Tremors, Trevor. Tell us, is there anything else you want to talk about?
Just rank, dude. finally got around to playing ranked.
We'll play some rank. We'll talk about rank kind of together. I might as well just talk.
Yeah.
So, Flint, your boy Matt has also been playing some solo games. I've been playing Dragon Quest 11 because my brother was like, "Hey, do you like?" I was like, "I want to play an RPG." He's like, "Play Final Fantasy." I was like, "Man, that's like an RPG for bitches, though." And he was like, "I ate." And then I was like, "He's like, yeah. Why don't you try Dragon Quest?" And I was like, "Okay, I'll try Dragon Quest." Dude, Dragon Quest 11, that game's awesome. It was fucking great. I love it, dude.
You know what the crazy thing with Dragon Quest 11 is?
Shut up. I'm talking. You can talk in a year and a half.
Anything
You can
like-
talk in a year and a half from now. Dragon Quest
You know
11.
what? You did play it a year and a half after I played it. Or close to. About the same amount of time has passed from when I played Dragon Quest to you playing Dragon Quest as the Monster Hunter thing. But the thing that got me with Dragon Quest
Checks out.
is it's like, yeah, checks out. It's a fairly long game, and then you finish it, and then it's like, there's like free DLC at the end.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you finished the fucking 70-hour game or whatever the hell it was. It was
Yeah.
thoroughly enjoyable. And then I was like, cool, right? I'm like emotionally checked out. The story is wrapped up. The loose ends are tied. And then they're like, oh, but here's just like another 20-hour campaign just tacked onto the back of it. And you're like, wait a minute. And I haven't played that yet because I was just like, I'm done. I'm going to play that later. I've played 70 fucking hours of this game or whatever the hell I played it for.
It's long.
But the thing is, it's just free. It's just in the game. It's in
Yeah.
the base
It's just the second
download. It's
campaign.
not DLC.
Yeah,
And
just
it's
the
more
second
thorough than most DLCs are.
Yeah, it's sick. So I've just
So
been enjoying that.
You know, emotionally, I had no idea that was coming. I finished it. It started the thing, and I was like, "The fuck?" And I googled it, and they're like, "20 more hours." No,
What?
done.
Well, that's pretty cool. That's there. I did hear about that just from like looking around. People are like, "Yeah, there is a second campaign to it too." I was like, "Oh, sick!" So, yeah, it's fun. I enjoy it. It's a fun little classic
good as
RPG,
classic as you
turn-based.
can get,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's very like old school in a lot of ways. I'm digging it, man. Got the
It's kind of the
sisters.
theme,
got this,
right?
I
Is
got
it
a
just
gay
like-
bard. I got a gay bard on my team. He's pretty cool. It's awesome. It's a good time.
Yep.
Other than that, back on that Smite grind, boys. I hate myself. But I'm actually fucking loving the game right now. I don't know why, but I'm just having a good time. Like, it's actually fun as fuck.
I've been
Should
thinking
be.
about like all of us are back into it, and I'm like, do I try it again?
Just do it,
The
man.
reasons that I
Just
quit
do it, dude.
been long enough that I can just like move on.
Yeah, yeah.
I
dude,
don't
here's the
have a
thing.
show on it anymore. If
That's
I
right.
did get back into it, I probably would just not watch the pro scene. And
Don't.
you know, I've still got so many people on Twitter that it's like I've unfollowed like as many pros as I can.
Yeah.
I've unfollowed many people that I didn't really have much chatting with. But then there's people that I just won't unfollow because I consider them
Duke
friends at this point.
Yeah.
You know, Duke Sloth and Teeds and all these other people. And then my Twitter is just loaded with Smite stuff from all
Because they
the
like
stuff
and
that they're
retweet.
liking,
Yeah,
and they're
dude.
retweeting it, and it's like there's just certain people that had good relations with in the Smite community, and and then my Twitter is I still see all the newest Smite drama, and I'm like, I feel like that portion of it ate into my enjoyment of the rest of the game somehow, and if
Yeah.
I did try it again, it would just be like, one, fuck Conquest. I know I hated Conquest, and with the podcast, I was like, I need to get like, you know, like more serious about this if I'm going to talk about it. Even though the whole point of the VD2 was like, we're casual and Brian plays arena.
It was a meme.
And then it was like, oh no, but Brian should play ranked because I need to talk about this and this will be good. No, just fucking play arena. Just fuck it all and play arena.
Dude, I've given up on playing so many characters. I'll play. Trevor, I was gonna talk about this when we do it. Trevor and I played some ranked, and I was like, oh fuck, I got solo. I used to be a solo main for a little while, and then I went back to support, and I basically played nothing but support. If I get a role that I don't want to play, I literally dodge queue. I say, nope, not doing it. But in this game, it's ranked, and I got solo, which is my second preferred, and I was like, okay, I guess I'll do it. Like, I'll do it. Don't worry wrong. Trevor thinks I'm still playing support, so I lock in Hercules, and he's going like, that's a weird thing. Why are you playing Hercules? Okay, whatever. Herc support can work. And I'm like, yeah.
No.
And the whole
Herc
time,
can work.
I'm talking about Bologna. I'm going, man, fighting Bologna is such a pain in the ass. Fuck, I don't know if I can fight Bologna, dude. She's so good. She's going to bully me. And Trevor's going like, okay, yeah, but why would Bologna be in support? Anyway,
We load in.
and then we load in, and while we're in the game, Trevor's like, "Oh, you're solo." I was like, "Yeah, dude." So basically, what happened is here's what I did. Here was my build because I hadn't done it. I went Warrior's Blessing. Bologna was basically just winning because she went Berserker Shield, which is just she gets HP. Me and Bologna had a slap fight the entire game.
Yeah, I didn't see him once.
Their jungler never came to my lane, and our jungler never came to my lane. So me and Bologna just kept hitting, like, no one got a kill. The whole time, there was like people on our comms were yelling at each other about shit. And me and Bologna were 0-0-0. We both got teleport. We both back. My build went boots, breastplate. She got Berserker Shield, boots into breastplate. And I was like, haven't gotten ganked. Fuck it. We'll get Mystical Mail. And Bologna couldn't box me after that because Mystical Mail is low-key broken, right? So it's like, hey, we out here fragging. And then we ended up winning, and I went 0-0-6. Yeah, like it was just a slap fight. And I had like top player damage for most of the game. It was great. Like little shit like that. It's still fun. It's funny as fuck.
I think ranked is a lot better now because Conquest is better.
Conquest
we're
is a
talking
good
about
state right now. I know.
It is
Yeah.
so hard to snowball to the point that the game's actually over. If the game is over like 15 minutes, it's because you tilted out.
Yeah.
Or you picked a lot of early game gods that just aren't going to be good, which
Past
is
that,
like,
yeah.
if you got snowballed by late game gods and your early game gods, like unlucky. That's not really snowball. You just got farmed.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the meta is definitely like you want like 2 early game characters and then 3 late game characters.
So wait.
Like.
This is what I'm hearing is that I still see people complaining about like somebody will like, or share, like Kitten of Doom will retweet something where somebody's complaining about balance, but what I'm hearing is that the game's in the most balanced state it's been in a long while.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, it's actually good. I don't feel like every single time there's like one character I got to get rid of. It's to the point where it's just like there's a lot of good characters.
Yeah.
Like when I look at who am I gonna play every time, or like I'm gonna play jungle, whatever role I get, I want to last pick every time because I feel like I can play across the board, and I just want to counter pick whatever they're playing.
I feel like
it's not a matter of top 3 good gods.
I don't need to play Geb, Athena, or Ardio or something like, you know what I mean? Like the top 3 supports for like all of season 4, season 5, whatever. Like I've been playing Xing Chen, Ares, Athena, Bacchus. Like I've been fucking. Who do I feel like playing, right? Like who would be good against this comp? Like I feel like versatility in picks is like being way more favorable than it's ever been, and I love that.
Yeah.
That's fucking great.
That's sick.
I gotta learn Horus though too. Horus looks dope. Like I've only played him once or twice, and I was like, this character is sick. I gotta learn this character.
What class is he?
He's a warrior,
Okay.
but he's like a
be
guardian
playing
though. He's like made to be like a physical support.
Again,
it's
if I came
good.
back, if I did reinstall,
Just
I'd
play Arena.
probably 90% arena.
That's fine. Fuck
But-
Clash, dude.
With my weird schedule now, though, like I've been playing Monster Hunter for 2 days, and then the sun comes back out tomorrow, and
yeah.
I've got 3 hikes planned, and even just in town, and
Yeah, I'm gonna go hiking tomorrow.
I'm gonna be spending pretty much the rest of my days off with my camera, and then D&D on Thursday to
dude.
wrap up that session.
All I'm saying is Smite is fun again, and I'm glad that we're playing.
I think the
that's all
break
I-
kind of allowed it just to come back and just be a
it's
game
fresh, dude.
rather than like
I like it.
everything else that we turned.
That was our
into
big.
back then.
That was my big thing, right? It just became everything all the time, and I was like,
I wasn't like before the podcast, I would just queue Arena all day or queue Arena and Clash and just play like only the things that were fun, and then I would just like spam Poseidon because it was fun. And then when I got the podcast, it was like, oh, I want to talk about this character, so I'm gonna play it, and it just changed the way we played the game.
Yeah.
Plus some of the other stuff that like I've talked about offline, that it was just like this game's
not doing it.
just was kind of like done with it. It was kind of surprising how
being
it's kind of like how
forced,
some people say. Some people say don't turn your passion into your job. It's like
I
for
get
some
that
people
now.
it works, and some people it doesn't. Some people think it's the dream to turn your passion into your job, and then I've met a lot of people that are like passionate about cooking that then just fucking hate cooking
Yeah.
after like 2 years of doing it. Warning
Yeah,
to your
maybe.
sister, Flint.
Oh, she's like, she comes home and she's like, I made like duck and creme brulee, and I'm making instant noodles for myself tonight because fuck that. Oh,
Yeah, like
Yeah, that's very
cooking is
common,
one that
dude.
it happens with all the time, where you see so many people chase the passion, and then
It's like
they're just like
hairdressers,
they
dude.
hate it. It turns it into something else.
Toxic. See, I fucking hate chainsaws, right? So that's why I went and got a job with the chainsaw. No, that's not it at all. But
That's a
I'm
very
just saying.
particular thing to the
Yeah, dude.
epiphany to
I
come
wake
to.
up every morning, I have my eggs and bacon, my coffee, and I go, fucking chainsaws, man. These fucking chainsaws.
if I see one more steel, I swear to fucking God. I swear to God, I'm gonna fucking
No,
kill
Math's
you.
I'm
gonna
trolling,
beat
I'm
the
trolling.
hell out of me, but like I went to
I'm trolling.
engineering school because I was good at math and it paid more, and then I chose mining because it was the highest paid engineering in Alberta.
That's what you do, baby.
And you know what? Like it's got its moments, it's got its ups and downs, but I'm on 10 days off, and
Making 30K, dude.
yeah.
Big money.
Big money, dude.
Big
Wait.
money.
Yeah, yeah. Enough to
We'll just
afford
leave it at
Monster
that.
Hunter on PC. That's how much you make.
Hell yeah.
Here, I'll
I've been-
tell you this now
I've
so
been
that you'll
spending
buy
too
it a
much
year and a
money on
half from
camera
now. It's a
gear.
good...
I've been spending way too much money on camera gear that it's like, do I buy this $50 video game? I'll just play something in my library, and then it's like, ooh, $500 lens.
Dude, I've been there, trust. What else we got to talk about here, boys? What else we got?
I want to
So
talk
we
about.
haven't done my week. We
Yeah, we
started
talk
with
about
Matt
Brian's
saying,
week
fuck
first.
you, and then moving on.
No, dude, I got your week down. We covered it.
I mean, I don't need to talk anymore about Monster Hunter. I just
You're
I don't
damn
know, I
right
wanted
you
to talk
don't, you
about-
son of a bitch.
I just wanted to talk about D&D at 2 days night, two
You
nights
got it.
ago.
I'm gonna
That
grab
was-
some water. You go ahead.
That was one of the best sessions we've done in a while for how I wouldn't say unprepared, but I don't know, man. Like it was different. So normally when I do D&D, right, as I DM, I basically told the players I do wild and fantastical, right? We're going to fight giant sea snakes on a boat that have mecha armor with fucking warforged right in the mecha armor, right? Like chaos ensues in a lot of the battles that we fight, these wild anime battles.
Yeah.
And we got to this dungeon and I was like, how do I make this dungeon interesting? And I had this idea, and I don't want to say too much because Flint still needs to finish the rest of it, but I knew coming into this dungeon that there'd be demons in it. And there's a particular reason there's demons in it. And then I wanted to make a dungeon. And I had no fucking inspiration whatsoever. Like nothing. And then 9 o'clock in the morning, I wake up because I could sleep until 9 on 10 days off. And I wake up, and by 9:15, I'm just suddenly like filled with all this inspiration for all these ideas. And something just clicks for this dungeon. And in this dungeon, I made it. This area was supposed to be a training ground, and originally the thought was that they're training grounds by just slaughtering all the demons that are inside of it. But then later I decided, as I started making this dungeon, it's a training ground for these shifters that live out in the forest for their mental fortitude, basically. And in this, there is 5 demons in particular that have different negative emotions. And so there, I've got like fear, despair, sorrow, regret, and hatred. And just by proximity, the party immediately, I started the session with like everybody's feeling negative emotions. And then I personally start pointing to individual characters and start pointing to actual feelings of regret and sorrow and hatred that their characters would have felt throughout the story. You know, the regret from Bjorkis when the Crystal of Sylvanas was shattered. And this, when I said it, Flint was just like, yeah, right? Like, you know, these moments kind of sit with them. You know, I was pointing to Josh's backstory, and I was just like, you feel sorrow for this and hatred for that. And you're thinking about this. And I made it quite personal, just because I know you guys as characters and I'm fans of your characters. And, you know, we've been playing this for a while. I made these negative emotions and what you're thinking about very personal based on these demons kind of bringing this out. And immediately from the moment I started like mentioning that to each person, they all just started like, oh, wow, everybody's kind of into it. Then we got in, and again, things just kind of like came together surprisingly well on their own. I forgot that I loaded a bunch of music to Roll20 like 2 months ago. When they got rid of Roll20 got rid of their fan burst for music, which had just like you can just type in anything and find it. So I had all kinds of stuff from like Witcher, and I had a fucking playlist like 40 songs long, and then it was all gone. Now you have to like load your own music to it. And I wanted just ambient music. I didn't want to put anything with like singing. So I found, actually, it was the same website that has the music for the intro for SQA. It was Ben Sound, and they had a bunch of free shit. So I just downloaded like every free soundtrack that they had and loaded them all to Roll20. And a lot of them were quite like sad. And I had these ideas for this like kind of creepy, tensiony music in the future. And so I had all these in there. And so I go to look, check the music, and I'm like, oh, I have sad music. So I just turned it on without even thinking about it. Didn't prep that at all for the session. All of a sudden, the characters are filled with these negative emotions, fighting these demons that bring out these negative emotions with this just like sad piano music playing, and the atmosphere was set. And I've never made an atmosphere like that before, ever. I'm always wild, fantastical, giant dragon fights. And then they're seeing, I let it slip that it was memories, but they're seeing visions of somebody's past, which has to do a lot with the lore. And you guys were so into it. And as a DM, when you got players like that into it, or like, oh, we need to quit, and people are like actually like, no, we have to see this through, or like, you know, when I accidentally said memories and everybody grabbed onto it, like when you've got your players like just grasped onto every word you're saying, and you've got that theme or this like thing going on for a setting you've never done before, I was just one of the best D&D sessions. And I can't wait to show you guys the end of it, because I tried to ramp up these visions to be kind of crazier and crazier.
Yeah. Also harder and harder, combat-wise, as I found out.
Oh, yeah, that was intentional, too. Yeah.
No, I can't wait to see the conclusion of that. I know everyone's
the
been
last
brainstorming.
fight, I am actually worried for all of your safety.
We'll be fine, dude. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
We'll be fine.
Somebody might die.
Could
I
happen.
hope it's me.
And it's probably, if anybody, Bjorka's, because he's just going to be out in the center.
We're out getting fucking smackerinoed. Yeah, it could be, man. It's all right.
I mean, like, Josh's character is just hidden so far away. Your character's out in the front, and Aiden always takes stupid positioning that I'm almost always killing you or Aiden, and pretty much never anybody else.
Oh man, I'm just role playing that frontline puncher. You know what I'm saying? I gotta be up in their shit to hit them. So I gotta, you know, it is what it is. How it be. I can't wait. I'm excited for Thursday, man. It'll be good. It's fucking D&D pollute. My other fucking game got canceled again for the third time. So it's like I DM once a week and then get to play. So this is nice. You get to actually play twice in a row instead of like sitting over a notebook like, fuck, what if these guys go in like a totally sideways direction and I'm sitting there like making like contingencies and shit.
See, that's why I went to homebrew, where it was like, what are they going to do? I was trying to do the module, and then the players wanted to go like this completely different route. And I felt like if I didn't know the module like the back of my hand, I didn't know how to like wing it and keep the thing going. Like, you have to understand their story so accurately that I just eventually went homebrew, because then it's just like, cool, whatever I made up on the spot is just now part of the world.
I've just been like, if they just throw something at me off the wall, I just add some shit in. But it's coming back to bite, because I gotta like write it down, because now I'm putting extra shit in the book, and they're like, oh yeah, what about that one thing you said? I'm like, ah yes, indeed, I invented that on the spot, but we'll go there anyway. But it's fine. It's totally okay. I got a map builder. I'll suffer.
You will never truly account for what the players will do.
I mean, you got 5 people thinking of the craziest shit, and you're just sitting there like, yep, okay, cool. Yeah, you gotta just deal with it. Yeah. I wanted to fucking talk about Electronic Arts a little bit. I don't know if you guys saw what they were all about.
I don't know if I saw this.
So,
is this from E3 or is this something else?
No, this is a legal thing. That just made me laugh.
Oh, I did see this.
Oh, right? It was the dumbest shit.
I'll let you take the wheel.
Okay,
oh,
so I don't know if it was...
I'm fresh to this, all right?
It was some shit. I want to get the location that they were doing this right. I believe...
That was in Europe, Honduras? No.
Yeah, it was in Europe because so in Europe,
Why did I say Honduras?
man, why not, brother?
The fuck?
In Europe, the governments of the world, they're in the European Union, are taking a serious hard line against loot boxes, things of that nature, because they consider them gambling, or they're trying to figure out legally if they would be constituted as gambling and predatory, which I would think they are, especially for kids.
Predatory, definitely.
Yeah. Gambling depends
is
on the
kind of
one.
weird because you're not getting a money prize; you're getting an intangible prize. So there could be a loophole there. But predatory.
Oh, this was the UK. I don't know. I thought it was Holland.
I don't know, but anyway, they had the.
I mean, this shouldn't be surprising with the UK. I'm pretty sure UK also like banned porn.
Yeah.
Or
They're
tried to,
they're
anyway,
like
multiple
Belgium
times.
banned loot boxes, so you can actually
People
buy
gonna
everything
fuck,
straight
man.
up in
People gonna fuck.
like there's no loot boxes in Belgium. You can just buy stuff straight up, which is dope.
China doesn't have limited shit. That's kind of interesting.
That's also true.
Yeah.
That's illegal in China to have like stuff that can't be obtained anymore. So like this, I remember, I think it was Mythimo. He went and played on Smite servers or whatever, or Chinese servers. So the Chinese, and it's first of all, it's like 100 patches behind. But he's like scrolling through skins for sale. You could buy all the limited skins. Like, all of them were purchasable, which is kind of interesting to think about.
It's nutty.
I also heard, I think in China with their ban of loot boxes, that like Overwatch got by it by saying that you can buy one gem, but you got a loot box as a gift. And so you weren't buying the loot box, you were buying like one gem and being gifted a loot box.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's
So-
pretty shitty. We should just not have those.
No, they're not. They're a practice now at this point. It's just
Well,
silly.
think of like Overwatch. Like, dude, game costs like $60. Like,
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it doesn't.
oh, sorry.
It did on
It was
release.
40 on launch.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
No, we're Canadian.
Even still.
So when it's
Oh,
60
yeah.
on launch, it's 80 here, and when it's
Yeah.
40 on launch, it's 60
60.
here.
So it's $60 because our currency is weak.
Because
Weak
yeah, new
sized.
releases are like 80, pushing $85 Canadian,
Yeah, I
based
think-
on
Yeah.
Just dollar value.
currency
Yeah.
dollar values. Yeah.
Canada.
So,
Exactly.
yeah, more like,
Which
So
actually,
more
when you
like
convert
Canada
back,
broke.
the bullshit part about that is when you convert $80 back, it's more than 60. So we still pay more on an American equivalent than
Yeah.
it's like
Unlucky.
$65 or $67. Like,
Yeah.
But yeah,
whatever
no,
it's
go
back.
watch that hearing. It is.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so,
continue with your story.
So what happened was the UK's parliament was having a committee to talk about game mechanics, and they had EA's VP of Legal and Government Affairs there. Her name's Carrie Hawkins. They were talking about loot boxes, and the Scottish MP said basically, this is fucked up. You shouldn't be doing this. This is predatory practices. It's essentially random chance, kind of
Gambling.
a gambling basically. And she came back with the best answer I think I've ever heard out of a PR spokesperson, because it's essentially what she is. She said, "We don't see loot boxes as gambling. They are actually, idiot PM, not gambling. They are surprise mechanics and are actually quite ethical. They're like Kinder eggs. They're
Yeah, she
it's-
compared it to Kinder Egg. Oh my god.
It was
Come
the
on, bro.
worst. And she said that shit with a straight face to a fucking House of Parliament. And everyone has been clowning her online ever since. That is the nuttiest thing I've ever fucking heard in my life. Don't worry, bro. It's just like Kinder eggs. It's fine. Buy
Dude,
more
it was
Ultimate Team
so
packs.
fucking dumb. Like, he's not exaggerating.
Yeah, if you watch that shit, it's like a minute long. It was ridiculous. But basically, the reason she was there is FIFA's fucking massive over in the UK, obviously,
Yeah.
right? And that's like the EA's bread and butter. They just release a new FIFA every year. Everyone buys Ultimate Team packs.
It's like
Fucking EA.
NHL in Canada.
Yeah, it just bigger, right? Like EA just
I mean,
makes
they have like
bank.
fucking 5 times as many people. Yeah.
Yeah, EA just makes bank off these sports games, and so basically they're looking to regulate it because they're saying this is fucked up. You got you're saying the game's E for everyone, and then you're introducing gambling mechanics, and that directly impact gameplay. It's not like Overwatch, where this shit's cosmetic and it's just, or like Fortnite, where it's like, fuck, we don't give a shit. Fortnite doesn't have loot boxes, but you know what I mean. Like you 12-year-olds, like, oh, you just want to look prettier or whatever. This is like, no, you can't play this game mode unless you buy 900 card packs. You can't do it. Impossible to do. Yeah, apparently we've been saying loot boxes wrong all this time. It's surprise mechanics.
Actually, it kind of had me do a thought there for a second. But you remember 10 years ago, right? World of Warcraft was out, and everybody is putting out all of these free-to-play RPGs, the original free-to-play models, and all of them were pay-to-win as all hell. I must have tried like a dozen of them after quitting WoW or before joining WoW because I refused to pay the box price and the subscription because, well, I mean, I was fucking 18 and dirt poor. And, and I'm just thinking back to like all those games that were pay to win. And I remember everybody still hated fucking pay to win games back then, but they were always the cheapest studios, usually some fucking like indie studio in China trying to milk it. And now you realize that the biggest like milking companies with like, the most pay to win is some of the biggest game studios in like North America. Like, ones that we would call AAA studios, like, that are making the big budget games, and they have the most predatory, the most pay to win mechanics, like out of compared to any of those cheap ass RPGs 10 years ago that like, we all tried for a little while.
Sports games get to fly under the radar too, man, because no one rages about those. No one's like, these video games are too violent, or these are crazy. There's too much adult content. They see that, they go, oh, you're just playing football. You're just playing hockey. Don't have to worry about that. Meanwhile, EA's raking in billions of dollars from fucking 12-year-olds with their mom's credit card buying packs to get their fucking Wayne Gretzky holographic Ultimate Team player. It's fucked up.
I was like, because of all the Raptors hype, there was a time during those games where I was looking at like, oh, maybe, you know what? I could play a basketball game. That'd be kind of fun. And I went on Steam and I saw NBA 2K19. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2K19.
And it was on sale. I didn't buy it, but I was looking at it and I was like reading. Dude, to play the game, I need to spend money on it. It was already like on sale. It was $30. Like, you know what I mean? To get play, like I just want to play the Raptors. I just want to be Kawhi. You know what I mean? I just want to be Kawhi Leonard.
That's right.
Shoot a couple threes. Like that's it.
On
you can't do that.
No, you can't.
Like you can't just buy the game and play it. It's like that's dumb.
No, because they're trying to say they try to force you into Ultimate Team. That's where they'd like you to play. They don't care about like I want to play with my buddies and just be the Toronto Raptors or the Cleveland Cavaliers or whatever. No, they want you to play Ultimate Team. Say you can make your own team. This is the best thing ever. And then they go, well, but you got to buy all these packs, and your players expire, and there's a whole economy there. Like that's even more fucked up. I can buy a player, and they're like, well, it expires in 2 weeks, so you have to fucking get like 2 or 3 of those motherfuckers.
Thinking back to all of the old RPGs where you could like rent cosmetics, and like shit expires, you could be like, cool, get this sweet sword for $3 a week, and like people were paying like subscriptions for it to look good.
Yep. And actually,
at least. Oh no, go ahead, Flynn.
I was gonna say 2K19. I don't. Maybe you were looking at 18. I don't know the fucking number in those games anymore.
Yeah.
2K19 apparently to play like when you're playing the game, right? Like I'm playing Toronto Raptors season mode, single player by myself, just like playing through the season, right?
Yeah.
I imagine the same as NHL. The game has unskippable ads.
Yeah, it does.
So you load into the game and you have to watch an ad for Gatorade before you can fucking play your single player game offline. Imagine.
And then you go to the courts to like practice and get your stats up and shit. Guess what? Gatorade everywhere. There's fucking just like placed in the game.
Yep.
Right. So
it's
like
literally a license to print money.
Yeah. So you're just getting swamped, right? Like you just like ad overload.
I'm just want to play a basketball game, bro. I just want to shoot some hoops.
Yeah, dude.
It's not the Nintendo days.
I remember back on the N64, my buddy had a game. That's how you know it's old, because I used to play as the Grizzlies, and he'd play as whoever, and we would just play. That's it. You can't do that anymore. Really? That's bullshit.
I feel bad for sports games fan, man, because they gotta, they're getting railed just like Call of Duty people. They gotta buy a new game every year. But on top of that, there's railed with like infinitely more microtransactions.
Well, then you got to start everyone from scratch every year.
Yep.
So you got to do your heavy investment once a year, at least, or then your continuous investment to keep it going.
That's fucked up.
And then now that it turns into one of those things, like now you're invested, so now you're going to keep playing, because now if you walk away from it, which I felt when I quit Smite, it was like, cool, there's just hundreds of dollars that's just like gone in a digital corner. And there's like a certain there's this funny thing about those cosmetics is the more you buy, the more you don't want to leave the game because you've invested into it.
I couldn't care. I could just leave it anytime. That's not my thing. I like the game itself. I get what you're saying for some people, definitely, but I can say for me personally,
it had a little bit like, I mean, I quit League and I quit Smite, and
that's true.
There's some of it where it's like, hey, I've invested all of this, but then there's the other half where it's just like, yeah, but you know what? This is the debate I used for a long time. Was what? All right, Matt wins. Was I used to pay $15 a month for World of Warcraft, and so when I went to League of Legends, I would pay $15 a month into the game, so I considered it like okay. Jesus, Flint, breathe.
I keep going, but I can't.
Air's coming out, boys. Don't worry about that. I was, having a little sip.
You weren't even drinking any. You just put it to your lips.
I was. Bitch, you see those air bubbles coming out? I'm gonna keep drinking now. You keep talking about EA. I'm gonna keep sipping fucking red hydro.
Have a drink.
I was so distracted I couldn't even keep going. It was just turned into everybody watching Flint.
You should just live stream this one day. Just this. Those wallpaper, like you can get on like wallpaper engine of like backgrounds.
Yeah.
I'd get one of you just like with the water going, but it's not actually going. It just looks like it's going down.
It's just like bubbling up. Yeah, like do like a 30-second recording of me just drinking water. Put that shit on there.
You could easily take that clip because Flint was so perfectly still. And just turn that into like one of those repeating images.
Good. Rip that shit off YouTube. Make it your wallpaper.
Okay, so what are we at? What are we talking about now? We derailed so hard.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't derail. We were talking about fucking predatory ass EA, man. Like that's totally fine, man. The EA Sports Predators in the game.
Good one.
It's weird because you got like fucking half the gaming companies now are like every time they release a game, a lot of the shooters now. Call of Duty announced it. Gears 5 announced it. No season pass, free DLC. No microtransactions. So you got like half the industry saying we'd like to go forward without all this bullshit because we make enough money that it doesn't matter. And then you have the other half going, it's surprise mechanics. Don't take our money away. Don't take our billions.
They all look like Brian, there's the picture. This is
look at Brian's Discord picture. That's just the president of EA right there. Just like surprise.
You notice though that they're like, for the most part, two different like audiences though, right? Like, so there is a little bit of crossover, right? Where it's like us playing our Smites and our fantasy games. We're playing very little sports games. Yeah. And I would almost consider like even some of the shooters like Gears of War on the fantasy side, right? We're fighting fucking wild aliens with a gun that has a chainsaw on it. Like that's fantasy of a different type.
You a fantasy player now, bro. You can't right? deny.
So it's like I'm grouping even those into it. And those games, Anthem was trying it where they're like, look, the people that are doing this, they hate fucking loot boxes. They're buying these single player games and they're learning that there's this market for just putting out a quality product and people will buy it. And then just keep putting out products instead of investing into milking that one product. Just switch that investment into just getting multiple products and keep people kind of rotating that single player space. But then you got that sports side. They're not really playing a ton, right? There's maybe a little bit of crossover with some shooters, but then they're going to get heavily invested into their sports world. Like my cousin, he has an Xbox and he's got 5 games and it's like golf, hockey, basketball, football, baseball, and like Call of Duty.
it's the gateway, right? Like if you're not a gamer and you get an Xbox, you go, well, I don't really know what I'd like. I don't know what the fuck I would be into. Oh, but I like hockey. I know I like hockey. I play hockey. Absolutely. I'll get the new NHL game. And then you're fucking in it. And that's just it. You just get the new NHL every year because you go, well, of course, hockey's one of my interests. Why would I not get the new hockey game? And whatever else you buy is off to the side from that. Now you're in the EA pay-to-win ecosystem if you like to play online anyway. With Ultimate Team. I don't know. I know hockey, it's Ultimate Team, and you make your own, and you can fucking play in the Ultimate League online, and that's a huge thing. Then I know you can also just go online as the Montreal Canadiens or the Boston Bruins if you want to lose every game. XD Brace.
Oh, I remember like the Ultimate Team has basically replaced the season mode, right? Because I remember as a kid like picking up NHL 2003, 2002. I think was the last time I really got invested in a hockey game. And like my cousin, the same cousin that only owns sports games, he stayed with us for like 2 months. And of course, being a gamer, he's like, "Oh, let's play games together." And then he immediately goes and picks up like a hockey game. And then I remember like the create your character was like the big thing, even from like the 90s, right? Where you create your character, you create all your friends, you do whatever you could to like max out your stats, which you couldn't do it in the same way that no pay to win ways to do it. And then we would sit there and we played for fucking just days, right? We both put our teams in the same league and we were both playing our own, and then periodically we were facing each other like in the league. And then we got to the Stanley Cup and like semifinals to like verse each other and shit. Like I remember all of that as a kid, right?
Yeah.
And then now it's like, oh, but now you just have to pay like constantly to do that, and you can't just do that offline anymore.
Yeah.
That just kind of blows my mind.
It's interesting, man. It's interesting how these companies have just like taken that over because it's such an innocent sounding market. It's not where I would expect their big dollars.
Well, people
to come
aren't
in.
out there like you said, it's not violence, so people aren't out there protesting the level of violence.
No,
Nobody's out there saying, video games cause violence with a poster of NHL 2019. Like,
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
yeah, that's where I'm protesting. But it's also too like it's isolated in the sense that you have all these people playing sports games and they haven't ever known anything different. NHL Online, like when the online became the big thing on Xbox Live, was around the time that they introduced Ultimate Team. So they've just always had Ultimate Team. They don't know any different. Like, what do you mean I could just have all the players and just make my team, or it was a skill-based unlock or something? They've never had anything different in terms of Ultimate Team anyway, where the card packs are. So to them, this is normal. And they're almost in the situation where if they don't branch out to other games and see how it is and interact with other communities going, no, fucking loot boxes and card packs are horseshit, they're just going to say, yeah, no, that's fine. Here's my credit card. Just $500 worth of cards, whatever. I don't care.
Maybe they don't think it's fine. Maybe they just like, I really fucking want to play hockey, and all of my friends are playing this, and I guess this is just how I have to do it.
Well, because
Rather
it's
than
the
saying
only
it's
way to
fine,
play it, dude.
Might just be, it's either this or nothing.
And it literally is.
They do have such a monopoly on it. Like,
there
does
are
anybody
no
make
other sports games
games other than EA?
2K is made by 2K Games.
2K,
Yeah.
okay.
But that's the only other one.
It's
Everything else
pretty
is
much
EA.
more predatory than EA, though, isn't it? Like,
Oh yeah, no, because that's the one with ads in the game and like unskippable shit. The Gatorade halftime show. I'm like, bro, just let me fucking play basketball. Just let me play basketball, please. Come on now. But yeah, it's actually crazy. But that's why EA doesn't really give a fuck in the sense that, like when Battlefront, everyone got mad at Battlefront 2's pay-to-win system. Like, yeah, they were trying to mitigate that PR disaster, but they're still raking in billions from the sports games. In the grand scheme of things, they're still coming out ahead financially just from
they
game
just learned
sales.
that the fantasy world isn't.
They just don't fuck with that.
Isn't
Yeah,
as okay with it as the sports side.
yeah, and now they're trying to desperately hold on to the sports money because that's where their fucking dollars are coming.
Honestly, I think within a couple of years, loot boxes are just going to be banned. They'll find some way around. They'll always try to find it, but
Well,
Like
it
if
depends,
the UK
right?
is doing it, like other countries have done it. I
What
think it's
about-
just a matter of time.
What about well,
Actually, you know what? I think it's a
I
matter
think-
of time, and that it just won't happen in the States because we realistically know that Parliament is owned by, you know,
yeah. But I just
companies.
think about like Smite, the chess systems.
I hated the chests when they came in. I bought, I think only twice did I ever buy into chests to get something that I wanted.
There's the Uller skin.
And
I
from the
remember.
day
hate
they
it.
came out to even now, I still hate the fucking chest system.
But the game is free, and skins don't matter.
Still hate the fucking
I
chest
know, I
system.
know. So how does that factor into the conversation?
I mean, it's not pay to win, so it's better.
Yeah.
Like, honest to God, if it was pay to win, if Smite had pay to win mechanics, I wouldn't have played.
I wouldn't have played it. That's
I
sort of
wouldn't have
like,
played straight
I
up.
have rules against that. I'm like, no.
Even with the random skins and like the chest system, which I hated, I often just saw the chest as just being like either you have to buy everything or I'm just not
you
bothering
don't get
with this
it
at all.
Yeah.
Which I think they really played on the whale aspect of you'll just buy out the fucking chest. Because realistically, like if you've only got 400 gems and you want this skin or that skin, are you going to buy the skin that you want, or are you going to take 2 rolls and get something you potentially don't want?
Two voice
Realistically, you're
matches.
either a whale that just buys out the fucking skin, or you're, not a whale and you just buy a different skin and just this, these chest skins are not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just wondering.
It's I'm totally fine with any kind of cosmetic shit. That has never bothered me, in the sense that I just don't care. It doesn't impact gameplay. It doesn't impact anything. I'm just playing internet dress up. I don't care. But
Yeah, I'm kind of with Flint on that side too, where it's like I'll forgive it. I get that the money making side. I get all that
Especially
other
if
side
it's
of
a
it.
free game.
mhm.
Especially if it's a free game. Even when you have a paid game that you then buy like costumes for, like I'm okay with that. Overwatch style. If you have a quality game that you're buying into, like I consider Smite a $30 game for me because you're buying the character pack. Smite I honestly like I got to give Hi-Rez credit, even after all this time, I still think that they hit the fucking sweet spot on pricing.
Yep.
I thought that some of the shit that they have out there now, where like you've just got like fucking like death tokens or whatever when you die, and like they found every little animation to
I'm done
find a
with
way
that
to
shit.
monetize it.
Yeah.
And like some of it, I'm like, okay, it's kind of excessive, but they fucking hit the price point so well, right? Where I was commenting on that
agree.
before, where it's like I'll spend $3 on that or $4 on it, but then now I'll spend $20 by buying 5 of them because I won't spend $20 on another game to buy like 1 or 2 of like half the quality. And so I end up spending 3 times as much money on Smite when I played it as I did some other game because everything was just priced so well. Or when they did their fucking bundles, man, it's like spend 2,000 gems, but then you get like all of this shit, and then you keep playing to get all of it. Like it worked, Like, I got to give credit where credit's due, but then that stuff also didn't feel so predatory because I still got to play. In worst case scenario, if I didn't get it, I just didn't have that skin,
Yeah.
and I can still play it. And the game still looks good without skins.
Yep.
That's
Oh,
one of the
yeah,
other
yeah.
things too.
I like,
Other people have the skins, and the character models look dope. Many of them I like better than most of the other skins that came out. Where it was like, torn between this, like their base model, and 3 other skins. Sometimes I would still choose their base model.
I use
Right?
Bologna's default or her recolor. I love Bologna's recolor. It's perfect.
Right? The game looks good. The map looks good. Like a
Oh,
lot
shout
of
out,
everything.
shout outs to Chuck. We haven't talked about Chuck in
Right.
a hot minute.
Yeah, it's been a while. We used to give him claps every fucking patch.
Dude,
But
he's
now
not even
every
there anymore.
I know he's on Realm, isn't he?
Not anymore.
No,
Yeah.
they're in their own
Realm or
art
Valve?
asset team where they then like sell the assets to the rest of the company, and
So
then they
he-
could be contracted out for other companies as well.
Oh,
So they're still within Hi-Rez, and he still makes
He's
the
still an
products for
employee.
Smite.
That's
It's
good.
just an art team that then sells to like the rest of the Hi-Rez spectrum.
Okay.
But it allows them to rent.
So he's
out
basically
ones.
just constantly making like bushes or weapons or whatever.
probably skins and shit too.
Skins, yeah.
Just whatever
ideas.
needs to be made.
That makes sense.
How do we not have a hot dog skin in the game? You know what I'm saying? What the fuck? Y'all ever think about that at night?
Dude,
No.
every day. To this day. To this day.
Because the point I was
Got that
finishing with
meme,
that,
Trevor?
is I'm still
Trevor?
thinking back to those games in like 10 years ago that were the shitty like
got
could
it?
rent
You
it,
got me?
where it was like you're the fucking
Hey.
you had just like the most bland, dull looking character and less you bought things. So it's like, cool, all this fantastical armor. Or I could just be wearing like, plain boring level 1 leather armor at max level. Where Smite looks good without.
Yeah.
I'm praising it all this week and I probably still won't play it.
That's fine.
I'm too busy playing Monster Hunter, man.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Well,
Tell me
great.
more. Tell me more
Don't.
about.
Don't you dare.
Oh, dude, I heard.
You actually beat all of the monsters. Like, how far did you get when you did it?
I'm well into the end game, dude. I'm done all the most of the post shit. My hunter rank is like 50 or something, and it goes up to like 999. But like, he's done that. I think one guy in Japan has done that. Like,
Yeah, I'm still doing like the questing.
hunter rank doesn't matter past the story. I'm doing all the bonus shit. That's just fun, right? Like, there's still just big monsters that you can go fight. But there's
They're
no,
just
like,
so enjoyable to farm.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
like you get better and better at it, and it's weird. Like, I'm not the kind of person that memorizes like, oh, it shifted its back a bit, so it's gonna do this attack.
Yeah.
But just the more I play at it, I'm just like, oh, it moved, and then I'm dodging, and it's like working. Or
Yeah.
you'll have the time where you just smoke Andrath in like fucking a minute and 30 seconds. You're in some hall, you're under his feet, and you're
Yeah.
somehow out of
Get
all
him
of it. You're
tripped.
just fucking swinging till you can't like
Yeah.
move. And then the next fight, he fucking stun locks you and kills you twice. You're
Yeah.
just like,
It's not that happens. It's not,
I was watching a YouTube, and they're like, things to remember. And it's like, even at endgame, you will still get just stun locked to death.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
I have a bunch of stun resists, and it still happens. It doesn't happen that often, but it does. And I'm like, okay, well,
Guess
Do
I'll
you
die.
farm pretty much all the monsters at a high end too?
dude, the high end is all the monsters from the low end, but way stronger and better. And then they have all the legendary cool monsters that you get to fight after. They all have different patterns and shit.
Oh, so they change up even the
Yeah, so you'll
you'll
go
still
back.
fight the Jagus.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you'll
yeah.
still fight.
You'll go back and fight a Jagger, or and he'll be like, "Oh, he does this now. That's kind of cool." It's like,
I'm so into it.
yeah, I know, dude. Are you?
Fuck.
Are
Why
you
did I
into
not
it?
play with this with you a year ago? I'm sorry. man.
And a half.
Don't
To be
forget.
fair, you
Point
showed it to
five.
me less than a year ago. You brought it to my house.
No, shut up. What are you talking about?
You were at my house in September. It's June.
But I've been talking about the game since its release.
Did you pick it up day of release? I didn't. You didn't
Pretty
pick it up
much,
till you
pretty
picked up
fucking
your
close.
PlayStation.
Pretty fucking
You
close.
didn't pick it up till you picked up your Wii PlayStation, and even then it was weeks after. It's only been like a year you've had it.
No, it's been closer to a year.
Somebody's
now.
got to find the
Hold on,
receipts.
don't
When did he
rewrite
buy his
history.
weed
You
smelling
can't
PlayStation?
rewrite this shit.
Trevor's on suicide
Don't
watch right now.
Even right now, I'm on suicide watch list right now. I'm about to.
He's
What else
ready
are we
to
talking
fucking
about?
drum
Community
some-
challenge? What are we doing? Community challenge? Let's go.
Community challenge. Trevor
Bring us on.
Trevor crafted a beautiful
Awesome.
community challenge this year.
Let's go.
Hold
dude.
on. Before we get into that, I'd like to point out while we were ranting, the Rocket League World Championship just broke the world record for the longest wave in history at over 18 minutes. I think in actuality it's like 27 minutes. What the fuck?
But
Like
why?
wave,
Like the
like a-
ooh,
Yes.
like-
Yeah. I-
dunked on.
dude,
Dunked on.
Yes. The Mexican wave. Woo! 27 minutes, I think it was. Why? Why is that on my timeline?
Gamers are oppressed, dude.
Dude, gamers are impressive. We're dunking on everyone, all right? Oh, you fucking, we're dunking on normies at their normie shit, all
That's
right?
true. Gamers do it better.
All right, community challenge.
Free.
All right. We gave the last call for this on Friday. It's not Friday, but we'll throw it out. With Google Stadia around the corner, a couple new video game subscription services are on the rise, and the announcement of 2 new consoles. Where do you think the gaming industry is headed? Are we going to move everything over to the cloud and make people less reliant on hardware? Will the PC master race take over? Are subscription services going to become the norm? E3 showed us a lot, so how are you feeling about it when you look into the future? Excellent question, Trevor. Excellent question.
I definitely got some thoughts on that.
Yeah, I
Let's
don't know.
start with somebody. Let's start with somebody. Who you got, Flint?
I've got Aiden, the 12-year-old himself.
Who
Wrote.
else you got?
Who
Yeah,
else
next.
do I got?
FF.
I can't.
I got
Fuck.
Aiden, and
Alright.
Aiden for 4 paragraphs. He's. Let me warm up. Let me lubricate a little bit before I do this.
Is that KY?
Yeah.
You're drinking water instead of beer on a podcast. I'm just noticing that. Unless that whole thing.
I got 2
It's
beers already.
Sunday. It's a holy day.
I already drank 2 beers, and I'm like, well, I need another liquid to like keep lubricated while we're talking. I have 2 liters of water
Hell
next to
yeah.
me. That's all I got. Aiden says, and I quote, "Stadia looks crazy, especially if they deliver the experience that they're advertising. I just don't know if it could ever become the norm in gaming. I mean, what other company conceivably supports the infrastructure to accomplish something like that? I think that console and PC gaming are going to be alive and well still. In my mind, Stadia looks a lot like PC gaming on crack, a game library like Steam, but without the need to have the hardware. So I think it'll take something of a similar role in gaming as PC gaming is now, and PC will become more associated with the consoles. It kind of transitions the conversation from PC console to cloud gaming home hardware. People like owning physical things. Otherwise, there'd be no reason for records or CDs to still be produced for new albums with Spotify and iTunes around. That's the biggest hurdle in my mind for this sort of concept, but the accessibility seems worth it to people who care about gaming a lot. If I was in the console industry at this point, I'd look at that and say, start ramping up our exclusive franchises and first-party titles. As a result, I expect a lot more of those as well. Personally, I think the announcement of Google Stadia actually benefits Nintendo. Nintendo, who are still on thin fucking ice, are most known for their exclusive series and first-party titles. You're not going to encounter Mario, Zelda, or Pokemon anywhere else. Not all the Pokemon anymore. The PlayStation and Xbox crowd have been more about hardware. That's constantly been their focus. Stadia takes hardware out of the conversation entirely. So if you're just not pumping out exclusives or stuff that I can only get on your console, why would I not just go with Stadia? Hell, it doesn't even seem to have a massive price tag attached. All things considered, it's an incredibly interesting development in the gaming industry. I can conceive of this being hailed as the future in gaming, and I think there will be practically always a market for PC and consoles, but this possesses potential to become the dominant force within the gaming world. We'll see if it'll flop or fly, though. P.S. I still think that PC is the best home for indie titles. Might see an even harder swing in that direction now, though. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Signed, Aiden, 12, by the way.
I was about
Okay.
to
You know
say,
what?
So
I got a
everything
lot of
you
points I
said was
agree with.
wrong.
I got a lot of points I sort of
Everything
disagree
you
with.
just
or
said was
counter.
wrong. Why would you take advice from a 12-year-old on anything?
There's something I need
related
to double check though. I didn't actually see the reveal for Stadia. So Stadia, is it like a computer program or is it a like console that you buy?
It's
that
like
you
the
then
Steam
plug
Link.
in?
It's like Steam.
It's like
It's like
Steam.
Steam Link. What is it? Steam Link? Is that what they call it? I can't remember.
Yeah, that's what they call it.
It's-
Yeah.
It's
So you
just
can,
like it's like a Google Chrome thing. You just hook it up to your TV,
Yeah.
and then I
then
think
you
it's
remote
literally
play.
Google Chrome. I think literally you have to get a new Google Chrome that can run, and that's how you run it.
Like what is it? Videocast or whatever?
Yeah,
Chromecast.
Chromecast?
Sorry, why
Yeah,
I was
I-
saying Google Chrome.
Yeah,
Chromecast.
yeah.
Chromecast.
Well, I got one of
Then
those,
from
dude.
there,
It's actually
a
sick. Right on my
subscription, or do you
TV.
buy the
just say,
game.
"Yo,
for it?
Netflix done." And then I just lie down. I'm like, dope.
The second question to that is it a subscription or is it like you buy the games for your Chromecast, your Stadia?
it's
I think you
subscription.
buy.
So it'll
Is
be
this
sub.
subscription? Okay.
It will be.
So here's a couple of things I guess I'm thinking about with that. First off, like I think the industry is already reacting to Stadia. Like around the time Stadia is getting announced, you also see Xbox coming out with Games Pass where you just pay a subscription and then just get access to like fucking everything. So I think they're already reacting to games like that. However, one of the things I think that'll really hurt Stadia across the length of it is bandwidth. right? Like if you
Ooh.
want to play, what did they say? It's like 40 hours of 4K Stadia is like 1 terabyte of streaming. I only have a terabyte limit. So even if I go to 1080p, you know, maybe that's 100 some odd plus whatever Netflix we're doing, plus everything else that takes any data from our data cap. And 1 terabyte is fairly generous. That's like the most I can get with the provider I have. But a lot of the time they have, 250 gigabyte limits. And then now you're starting to pay per gig or per 100 gigs you go beyond that. I know when we had Ed on, for Punk Duck, he was saying one of the biggest troubles he had was that Belgium has absolutely hugely restrictive like data caps, like in the tens of gigs. And so by the time he's like, he can barely watch YouTube. He says like, you can't watch Netflix unless you're just paying out the ass. Like your $15 subscription a month, or sorry, not 15. It's like $8 subscription a month or whatever the fuck it is. Right. But then you have to pay like $30, $40 a month to get a data cap to actually make you want to watch it. So Netflix struggles in countries like Belgium.
Yeah.
You can also see, like, I could see companies like internet providers, right? Like Netflix, there was this whole contention and there's all this stuff that was going on with like throttling of Netflix as well. So, I mean, it's Google, provided it's Google, right? And they're a fairly powerful force to be reckoned with. But all it takes is Microsoft to have a relationship with Comcast, and then Comcast throttles, Google Stadia, or, they start holding data caps very strongly, and then it becomes too expensive to really manage. Now, maybe for your casual gamer, it works out great. The other thought I have with that, and this one I agree with Aiden, and I kind of hate it, was Aiden said, if you're a console developer, start ramping up your first party, your first party programs or first party games, your exclusives. That's the word I'm looking for. I saw a meme the other day and it rang so fucking true, where it was like, it showed the guy and he was just like, it showed Pirate Bay, like the logo for Pirate Bay.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, and he's holding Netflix and he's like, look, I don't need you anymore.
I saw this meme.
Right. And then it's just like, and then it shows it that it's just like, now it's Disney Video and Netflix and Amazon and
I saw
Hulu,
this
and it was like 9 or 10 of them, and more of them are coming out, and they're all coming out with exclusives, and
they're all
stuff
$8.99,
getting pulled off of Netflix,
$7.99.
and it's this back and forth for who has what. Then you've got Crunchyroll and Funimation now splitting the anime into different ways, and there's probably like a third anime streamer, and then it's just like, oh, Pirate Bay, it's good to see you again, right? Like that kind of makes me think about that with these two. You add another player in there that gives a service like that. Microsoft, even Microsoft bringing in its subscription, I forget what it was, Games Pass, and it's like, oh wow, cool. You're limited. You're already sort of limited by your exclusives, but now you might see more games that would have been cross-platform going to more exclusives. And then what happens then now, right? We're finally getting cross-play between Xbox, PlayStation, and computer. Do we now have to have cross-play for Stadia as well? Like,
what does that matter? I don't know. I think those last two opinions are really poor. Like looking at E3 this year, the amount of exclusives is just going down. It is
really.
Yeah.
I still think about the Netflix thing because it's like, for me, it's like, oh, I want to watch the show. Oh, it's on Hulu or Amazon.
Yeah, that's worse now. That industry is much worse.
You have to remember, gamers as a whole will say, no, fuck you, we don't want that. Like more than any other people on TV shows, they don't say that, right? Like TV show
Firefly.
Yeah, okay. So you might get people who I didn't like season 8 Game of Thrones. They might rant, they might make their opinions, but when it comes to gaming, people will just say, I'm not going to purchase that. Fuck you. And then Microsoft's kind of and then Microsoft's kind of like, oh, well, fuck, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I guess maybe it's just because in gaming we have had so many exclusives for so long, and it has been a driving force.
Yeah.
I guess the thought would be, I guess where my head was at was like, if you have Stadia and then you have Games Pass and then PlayStation, and they all go these subscription routes,
yeah.
Do you start paying for 4 subscriptions if you have 4 consoles?
Yeah.
right? Maybe you have two of the same console because maybe say you've got, one day I'll have kids and I'll have a separate console for them, right? Then you start paying for 2 subscriptions, and then all of a sudden you're paying like 8 subscriptions for games because you want all these, or do you choose the one? Like there's a lot of games, like I just got PlayStation because I went from PlayStation 2, skip 3, and then came back for 4.
Right.
And then there's all kinds of games that it's like, oh yeah, that looked so cool, but I never had a PlayStation 3.
Yeah, it's just not as bad. Like if you go back and watch through a lot of E3, you'll notice pretty much everyone's on there. Or all you look at the bottom of every game trailer. Oh yeah, there's everybody. I think there's more of a fight between Epic and Steam right now than there are the consoles.
Well, look at Banjo Kazooie and motherfucking Smash Brothers. That's
Yeah.
huge. That's like what Xbox character, right? It's a big deal.
So before we go into the next point, or like next person, you want to read another one?
Yeah, I can read another one.
Pace these out. I hate to get to the end of this point and completely talk it out before we.
I agree.
We've done
Hear
it.
more people. Hear everybody's.
So just as a quick thing, I was just looking up for Stadia. You have to buy to get the controller and the Chromecast thing. It literally is just that. But then you also have to pay a monthly subscription for Stadia Pro. I don't know what the difference between regular and Pro is, but it is both. Depp Nation coming in says, "What the fuck is a Stadia? It sounds like something you catch from a lady of the night.
God.
Get better names, Google. Should have called it Google Games because GG." He's right. People play on console because it's convenient. If I knew what the fuck I was doing when I opened up a computer to replace a part, then everyone could do PC gaming. Same with purchasing games. Want a game? Easy on console. Search, click, buy, donezo. PC? Gotta fucking stroke off to the EA launcher for loot boxes, so there's 4 other different ways to load up Minecraft. We've got your pre-programmed Xbox console UI basically on your PC already, but you can't use it to play the games you have on there. And then there's Steam, but if you want to, you can use a shortcut for a launcher on top of the game's having its own. Then fucking Fortnite decides to get their own bullshit launcher. Newsflash, jackasses, nobody likes that. I wonder why PC gamers are more toxic. I've got no idea why. It's supposed to be better. Those are all great points, but my counterpoint is, where the fuck was Google Stadia in that entire break of text? Because I didn't see it at all. I'm just throwing it out there. It's fuck. We got Cyclops on the podcast. Welcome. Taking a break from the X-Men.
Where's Jean Grey? I'm horny.
Fuck you, Wolverine.
I don't remember what Cyclops. You know what's funny?
That's Cyclops' entire character, basically.
I was about to say, in the comics, Cyclops is actually like Pog as hell. Like he's Pog champ, like legit. And then you see the movies, and it's like there's not a director alive who knows what to do with it. They'll just like, I don't know. Like he's never been used like at all effectively in any movie. He's just the guy who shoots I-beams.
Badass in the things, but you're right. In the movies, he's just
fucking
kind of a whiny bitch, and just like he always seems to play into the struggling with my powers, like
yeah. But like Cyclops in comics is always like he's badass, he's hardcore, it's fuck cool. But then in movies, it's Jean. It's like whatever, man. What are you gonna do? I'll direct the next X-Men. I'll make Cyclops cool.
Depp, I hear what you're saying. You know, I think the gist of what you're getting at is that consoles aren't going anywhere because it's convenient. But I mean, if Stadia can get over its bandwidth limitations, it's literally just plug it in, turn your TV on, and you're fucking going.
Yeah,
and it's the same experience.
Well, you guys, I think we're kind of forgetting about something kind of important here.
Think about
people don't like Google. Fortnite? People don't like Google right now. Why do you think that is? Selling your data, dude.
That's true.
Yeah, but
I think that's going to be a factor in here.
Data.
What's that?
I said a lot of people can sell your data, though. That's the problem.
I know, but people like there's a lot of like distrust with Google in the Twitter sphere as a whole. I'm not saying that like, oh, everyone could do that. It's like, yeah, I'm aware, but people are like, I don't want Google like knowing what I'm doing and shit. Like it's already sketchy as hell when you're talking about like, man, I really need some shower curtains, and then all of a sudden on the side, SQA shower SQA shower curtains available now. You're like, whoa!
Actually, I
I
think
was
they're
just
no
talking
longer
about.
available.
Oh, I
Li-
thought they
no,
were till
they're-
July.
July 6th, they're available.
That's what I
till-
thought.
July
Yeah.
6th.
along with our
Yeah,
Are they
diehards.
wait, are they available until July 6th?
Yeah.
Is that when are they still available now? Up
They are
until
How
July?
many
currently
of those have we
Wow.
still
sold,
available.
excluding the ones that Flint and Bryce bought?
About 5 or 6.
I gotta buy one still. I'm
Fair
planning on
amount,
it.
actual fair amount.
Oh, that's not bad.
For what the product is, that's a lot.
Mr. Worldwide, fucking my face everywhere. So dumb. Oh,
Matt, I do want to expand on what you said, but I'm gonna hold off.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah, yeah.
wanna- I don't want to spill
I'm
the
just
beans yet.
all I'm bringing it is to the conversation. Is all I'm
Yeah.
saying.
I feel you.
I feel like a lot of people are kind of ignorant to that. I mean,
Okay, sure.
like some of us know and some of us don't care. Like, I mean, people have been freaking out about Facebook for that exact reason forever, but it's not like it's really slowed down Facebook at all.
Well, Facebook's definitely slowed down. Just
Okay,
not,
look, when you
they
hit
have a
3
different
billion
argument,
users
yeah.
and you literally have half the fucking planet
Yeah,
and like 3/4 of the planet that has like internet access.
yeah.
All right. I guess
got
it's
you.
time to slow down. You've plateaued. Like,
I get what you're
Oh,
saying.
let's be honest. Half of those accounts are my catfish accounts. Okay.
Yeah, Trevor just trying to get a nut.
Yeah.
dude, is that when fucking Nadia 256184 follows me on Twitter? That's that actually you? Just trying to fucking catfish me?
I cannot confirm or deny what I do when I say I'm depressed and need some.
All of a sudden, all these titty accounts are following me, and I'm going, huh.
Hey, boo, winking face.
Trevor joined the podcast to get a dick pic from Flint, and that's really the only reason.
That's his fucking mission. right there.
Men only want one
already
thing,
take them
and
in
it's
the
bro.
hotel room.
Men only want one thing.
True, bro.
Yeah. All right. Who we got next, Flint?
All right, next we got Snorlax Hunter 64. Says I'm very into the idea of subscription services for games, but not into streaming them. My internet is slower than No Boots Thanatos.
I didn't even consider bandwidth, but yeah, if you don't have the pace to stream Netflix,
Dude, you fucking think I could play Google Stadia? It'd be like fucking dial-up days. You know, like get off the fucking internet. I'm trying to call the fucking store. And it's gonna be like, get off the internet, playing your fucking single-player games. I'm trying to fucking watch YouTube. That's what it's gonna turn into.
No, dude, your dad would be like, I'm trying to frag and smite. Like,
Honestly. Trying to get a penta in arena. Fuck off.
Yeah. I feel that. I mean, I don't. I'll be good, but you know, I feel bad for the little people. You know.
the little
Yeah, what
people.
the fuck, bro?
Donk don.
the people living in cornfields.
Yeah, man,
Imagine
he
not
makes a
having
good point. It's like the one reason I wouldn't be getting it. Not that I hate it.
Yeah, no, it's
Could
got.
work a lot better than
I'll
because then
just
you
be honest with you.
subscribe and then download.
Everything
Yeah.
should just be on PC. Problem solved. Done. Just
Yeah.
Steam.
Like Xbox Game Pass is chill because you subscribe and then you download those games to your console and then you can fucking play them off your console. And it
Yeah.
just has to check that your subscription is still there to say, yeah, you can still access this content. But yeah, fucking streaming that bitch. I understand
You know-
why for
what
people with
Nobody's
shit
talked
hardware.
about. I didn't even think about like one, poor internet, but what if just like they do it and then their servers just suck?
Yep.
Like every other
That's-
game
yep.
has fucking shitty servers, so they promise all of this speed, and then their servers just hiccup.
Like at Blizzard. Like at Diablo launch, Overwatch launch for a little bit. They fixed it pretty
What
quick.
if
but,
what if
like,
you get it? What if you go to play, and you have a queue?
Yeah, I don't agree with this. I'm gonna be real.
Or you think they'll have quality product?
I do
Okay.
not like the whole point is they are like we literally have hardware for you to play off of. It's here, not in your place. It's fucking Google. If they're gonna big dick this so hard and they're like, we're gonna lead the way into the future, even if this fails, it's going to succeed because it will then allow somebody else to take their place, do the same thing, and make it better. I think that Stadia will be good off launch though.
I feel like I heard somebody say exactly that, except replace Stadia with Google Plus.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. I was about to say.
That's a hugely different thing. We're talking about social media accounts.
I don't think that
gaming.
The argument
Google's
of it's
in it,
Google
so
isn't
it
good
will
enough.
succeed
Yeah.
has been proven wrong time and time again.
People said that about Microsoft. Oh,
yeah,
they're too
but that's
big.
a whole thing of you have
Xbox
to-
One.
You
on
can't
launch.
throw money at social media and make people enjoy it. You can throw money at making a server good. Like, that's the difference.
Okay, how come
can't-
let's think about it like this though. Epic doesn't have a good store. They own Fortnite. Like,
Yeah,
think
but
about it.
they're just all right.
So
real talk,
money
They got
again.
the money on the games. They spent money on games. I don't know
Sure.
what the hell they're doing on the. I don't know about the security part. That's a big question mark.
Well, you
But
think that would be
Their
important?
games run. Their store stays open. Like, they fulfilled that part. The security part is the yikes, but their hardware,
It's a
like,
pretty big yikes, dude.
it is.
Yeah.
But their
Not
games
everyone
going down?
makes. Listen, I know you can steal so much money from Brian, he wouldn't even notice. All right, like it'd be fine. But like the
You can
rest of
steal
us,
at least 29K.
that's easy. And he'd be like, I didn't even notice my bank account. But the rest of us on that struggle, like we know, like
Dog,
that money.
I can
goes.
hear my fucking router crying from here just thinking about Stadia. I can hear it overheating. It's like, no, dude,
Yeah, dude.
that's not happening. Absolutely not. I can fucking hear the tears pouring out of the fucking Ethernet ports. Like, nope,
Okay.
nope.
Well, hit me
Maybe
with this
it'll grab
last
the
one so I can
casual
pop
audience,
off
though.
on these
Yeah,
guys.
listen. Let's go the last one, then Trevor will pop off.
I
and
feel
we'll-
like
about
there's
to-
the
I'm about to
if
pop
Stadia
off.
wants to do it right, like they should put a couple of older games, but they should really try to catch a younger audience. I think if there's anything
we
they
love
should do that
Fortnite.
way,
We love Fortnite.
well, I mean, jokingly about the Fortnite, but that's one thing I've met is a lot of parents like being 28 and married and working in an engineering world with people that have, graduated at 22 and have a family that are all 5 years old.
Yeah.
And they're like, my kids want to play games. What do I buy them? And if Stadia could market right to, I think, a younger audience, they could potentially make tons of money from the parents that don't really trust the violent video games on Xbox for their kids. A lot of them
Buy a Switch.
default to Nintendo
Buy
for
a
those
Switch.
reasons, but
Yeah.
you could potentially catch like a I don't know. It's kind of. I was gonna say you could potentially catch a lower income bracket that could afford like a subscription. It's kind of like how Japan, a lot of the stuff where guys like they can't afford a computer, but they can afford per week to pay for a gaming cafe, right? It's like
Yeah.
I could spend this much of my paycheck per week and play
Yeah.
games at the gaming cafe, but I can't afford to buy a console for my
Or
house.
the arcades or whatever.
But as I
yeah.
say that, those people probably can't afford internet fast enough to use Stadia anyway.
Yeah.
if you're in that boat, so. I kind of talked myself out of my own discussion point.
Understandable. I'm gonna read this last one before I lose the ability to talk from choking on water. Zelato says,
Not enough beer, eh, Flip?
not enough beer. That's the problem, man. Zelatos comes in and says, cloud tech services are gonna revolutionize gaming. That's his take. The ability to play next-gen games on older, slower PCs or on mobile devices increases accessibility significantly. Subscription services that allow someone to pick games from a massive library on a whim for such a low price without having to take risks on shelling out large dollar amounts on unknown indie games or pay-to-win AAA titles that allow any user to get exactly what they want from their investment. I subscribed to Xbox Game Pass last week, and I already regret not having done it sooner.
Yeah, I feel that.
I guess my final point that he mentioned there, if Monster Hunter's on Stadia, I probably would have tried it a year and a half ago.
I could see Matt vibrating in anger back there. He's like,
All right, I'm gonna slam dunk this real quick while Matt has a fucking anxiety attack. All right, one shout out.
You
to
think you're fucking funny,
Here
Ryan?
we go.
You trust a corporation over your friend?
Matt, you haven't even added me as a PlayStation friend.
I don't.
Now you know
at
why.
you in
I
life.
know why.
Be gone, thought.
Ooh.
Be gone.
Camera goes to black. Mike's muted.
time and money.
Go ahead.
Low tier god. I'm not saying anything.
Yeah. Whoa.
Trevor.
Go ahead, Floyd.
Matt.
Trevor, go ahead.
All right. First up, Aiden. it popped off this week. I think he put a lot of thought into his. Like we had to say, I don't agree on everything, but kudos, my man. Canadian Ice 2. Whatever happened to Canadian Ice 1 anyway?
I don't know.
His account got it was back in the Smite days. He
Oh my fucking
he's
god,
dead.
Brian! It's a joke.
no, but like actually, he
Yeah,
had
Oh,
to
we
go,
know.
right?
Actually, we've been playing with Aiden for longer than I've been telling you to play Monster Hunter. You cuck.
Actually. All right.
God damn it! I'm glad you're back on this podcast.
All right. I think Stadia is not going to struggle in hardware. They're going to struggle in marketing because the other console brands have already been so embedded. What they'll succeed at is price point. Possibly. I mean, we're going into the new age of consoles, but Stadia, I think, is only repping 60 frames. Like they're not coming out. Then you have the limitations with the internet. Granted, all of those things can be fixed, and I do not see them going into such a huge investment with this project if they didn't find a way, or they didn't have a plan to find a way to get around the internet streaming restrictions, given that most places in America, at the very least, have a terabyte. So the terabyte isn't going to get you enough, and you know that for especially the States, there has to be some kind of solution to it. Just what is it going to be? Crossplay needs to come hard and fast in order to keep up. I think it will. They've already announced they will have crossplay.
Depends actually. If
but
they're
it
streaming as their
becomes a
own
brand-
console, then they, okay, they'll have to develop it. But if they're basically just streaming like a PC version, I thought about that after. Crossplay would probably just be embedded in anything that has PC crossplay, depending on how their service like reads the games.
It doesn't look like it. Like they talked about Destiny 2, it isn't going to have crossplay until 2020, even though it's going to be on launch, and that includes PC. So I'm guessing there's difference.
Okay, so it will do its own. I guess the final. You can finish your thoughts because I had one more thought that you gave me there.
I think console, as in Xbox and PlayStation, are going to be fine for now, but ultimately, I don't see why this wouldn't be moved to. I do like Aiden's point that people like hardware and they like to, have that tangible object, and there's branding to it. But that's where Stadia's gonna have to struggle and really work at their branding to overcome that. If they, whatever, somebody will take their idea and do it better, which is, I think, the only important thing, if nothing else, to come out of Stadia. That it ultimately it's going to be the future in some way, shape, or form. I think it'll be really good if they can increase the capabilities. Like if you can go above 60 frames and then still sell it for a very low price point, that will become the norm. But PC will still survive because people are elitist. People don't want 120 frames. People want 800 frames or some shit. A couple years down the line, they want the biggest, the best, and those people are still going to go to the hardcore gamers.
I don't give a fuck how many frames per second most of the time. I don't care. It's not.
My eyesight's not good enough to see much faster.
I was about to say,
than 30
I
frames per
just
second.
like a good game. I don't really care. Honestly, I played so many games of 30 frames per second. I'm like, oh, this is fine. I don't even know. I hardly notice it. Hardly. Like even, and when I'm like when I'm playing Smite, when I'm focused, the last thing on my mind is fucking frames per second, dude. It's mostly this motherfucker had beads and Aegis. You know what I mean?
Why is he immune to everything? He's immune to everything.
Yeah. It's not like I'm sitting there being like, motherfucker had Aegis and 45 frames per second. Fuck this dude, right? Like it's not. I don't know.
But it is big and competitive.
That's
it is
true.
like maybe not even Smite as much, but it's big and competitive shooters. It makes money.
Yeah.
That's why it will survive.
I think that people should realize that that's not important, though. I think gameplay
Trevor's
overall.
point, though, is like you have to catch all of your audience.
Yeah.
So you won't care about 60 frames per second, but somebody else, Derek, will care
Derek
about
will.
60 frames per second.
Yeah,
And
Derek
if
does
Stadia
care about
releases
that.
30 frames per second, he won't even bat an eye at it.
Yeah, that's true.
So there is a different size of the market. The other thought that you triggered in me there, Trevor, was you mentioned about Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo having being like rooted in as a strong brand, and competing with that brand can be hard. Steam is kind of coming in its own for people that have PCs. And then I got thinking about, you know what Stadia really should focus on right now, if they're not already at the same time, is a wicked like first party or like exclusive. Because you know what? Like if you look back at the history books and like, people talk about what got the Xbox going, Halo. Halo came in and changed the fucking scene for shooters, right? I mean, we can talk about where Halo's at now, but where Halo was for its time, it was fucking revolutionary, amazing. The game still holds up, and it sold Xbox consoles. And then from there, you bought it. People bought an Xbox to play Halo. It was so big. And even PlayStation, it had some games that sold it. Final Fantasy VII is actually one of the ones that is touted for helping sell helping sell the Sony, the PlayStation. There was other games that sold it as well. It had a lot of exclusives. Wasn't as tight of a market. It was like Nintendo, Sega, and then PlayStation came in, which is tons of amazing exclusives. And like accessibility will sell for some, but if it wants to become much more than like, something that dies in a breeze, like we've had other streaming services, we've had even other things try to come in and compete.
Steam links already exist. It's basically this, FYI.
Yeah. So other people aren't really doing it, right? Steam did its thing.
Steam Link
I think
exists, but
if
this
they
would be
really
better.
want to come in as a force to be reckoned with, they should be fucking investing just as much money into their Halo, which might be hard to do nowadays, but that's what brought the Xbox in. Like, because the Xbox came into an established market, but just boom, rammed in fucking Kool-Aid Man and said, "I've got Halo." Like,
Yeah. And like I said, and if it doesn't work at the end of the day, if they fuck it up, well, I'm sure they stole this idea from Steam Link. This idea grew a little bit more, became Stadia. If it doesn't work, somebody will steal Stadia and make it grow some more until it works.
Epic side-eyeing Google right now, like, come on,
Yeah,
fuckers. Hope you
Epic,
fail.
like,
Hope you fucking
dare us.
fail.
But
Imagine
like,
playing Fortnite whenever you want.
But you can! Dude, I was talking to Matt about this the other night when we were playing Rank. Just like, man, I was laying in bed one night, I was like, how crazy is the fact that all of us sleep on the fact that Fortnite is a fully functional game on mobile for Battle Royale and their PvE.
Yeah.
You could play the whole fucking game on phone, and we sleep on that so hard. Oh my god. Epic is
And
so
tablet,
good
yeah, phone
at
and
some
tablet.
points. But at the other points, I'm still like, God, I don't want to care, but man, you impress the fuck out of me. That could come more with Stadia. Granted, again, Steam Link.
so you're
Stadia.
talking about, even if Stadia, the brand, dies out, the Stadia, the technology, is still pushing the industry forward.
Yeah.
Separate.
This idea, this concept isn't going to die. We're moving to the cloud with so many things. It's the natural progression.
One thing I do kind of like about Stadia, though, as a thought, that if Stadia has, if it's all cloud based, right, you never have to do a Stadia 2 or a Stadia 3. Like with the Xbox, you have the Xbox, you can go to the Xbox Pro, cool, you got 4K, and then eventually the limitations of that hardware show. But the Stadia, you can have, like, cool, you can have your classic controller, because really all it is a classic, like a controller and an internet connection. And then they can do all of their upgrading behind the scenes, make it more
For the most part, but Google does put out new Chromecasts that work faster. So they would probably
But
do
again,
that,
it would
but
just be
price
part of the
point between a
Chromecast.
yeah.
It would just be part of the
Chromecast is still so
Chromecast
much
thing.
cheaper.
But you don't have to be necessarily part of the console war. And
Yeah,
if they do their
agreed.
servers right, if they do it properly, and if the streaming service is fast enough, you could actually have an engine behind the scenes far more powerful than the home consoles could ever be. And you could actually deliver PC level graphic quality in a console and then just maintain that quality if you've got enough power.
Yeah, I just wonder who will do it first, console or cloud-based streamers. who's going to get the PC like graphic level.
I mean, I think consoles
we'll
will
see.
catch up, and then PCs will just continue to grow.
Well, yeah, no, yeah, of course.
But because I'm thinking about that where it's like you can do. I never really thought about it this way, but you can do with that cloud-based service like far more power behind the system than you could ever do with even a home PC or a console. Like we have at work, we have it sounds weird, but we have what I just nicknamed supercomputers. They're just big fucking towers with like 128 gigs of RAM and like fucking 3 processors. And then I just like connect onto it with like a remote connection. It works pretty much as fast as my computer would work, maybe a little bit laggier. But then I'm running a supercomputer with a fucking 128 gigs of RAM when I need to run my shitty Excel code that'll crash my laptop. And so you could do that with Stadia, where it's like, look, we've got just all of this fucking power. We've done this massive upgrade, and it could potentially just have the raw power to like fix or power through problems that games have, depending on how they set up their servers.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of cool potential there for that behind the scenes.
Oh yeah.
Flint, did you talk about it? Flint, have we gotten your opinion?
Yeah, my internet's
like
fucking
kind of-
terrible. I have zero interest in it. I don't think it's gonna be the future. I think it's just gonna be another option. I mean, we've had a conversation about streaming versus having DVDs, and I got a fucking rack of DVDs behind me. I still buy fucking DVDs because I enjoy owning physical media. So I think there's always gonna be a market for it, but you are gonna have a lot more. As internet infrastructure increases, people have more access to tons of data, faster and faster. Of course, people are gonna want to stream video games. Like it's a natural progression. Can Google do it for the price point and what they're promising? I don't think so. Not at first crack. I'd be very impressed if they did. I just think that even in first world countries, I mean, Canada has some of the worst internet in the developed world, and it's
Even America, honestly.
even America has shit internet. Like I don't think the infrastructure's there yet.
Perspective, and you watch like videos on the way that American internet's set up, where it's like they don't have a monopoly because there's 3 companies or whatever, but then they just have areas that they've just kind of gentleman's agreement that you won't go there, and then they just have a monopoly over an area, which then allows America to then just provide worse internet than the rest of the developed world because they now just have a monopoly and Americans have no choice.
Dude,
to just buy the shitty service they get.
We have that too, man. That's why I don't. I can fucking look out my window and see a box for fiber internet, but Bell gentleman's agreement with the local companies here and saying, well, we won't go here. It's literally what's going on right outside my door right now.
Okay,
That's
I live in the heart of Calgary, so I feel like I have choice.
Yeah, I have
like
zero options right now.
Calgary, they would.
Yeah,
Calgary, they would. Rural, yeah, I've heard rural gets pretty fucked. Like
rural
that,
gets bent
Canada.
over, bro. I'm paying like fiber prices for 10 megs down. So that's the thing. Like, I don't think the infrastructure there it is there yet. That being said, I mean, Google's also pushing Google Fiber. They start doing that more. Maybe in line with their Stadia, I could see some pickups definitely in areas that can handle the streaming capability. I mean,
I was talking before about the bandwidth and people trying to fuck them. If Google Fiber, I've heard, has had a hard time pushing to all the locations it wants because basically the competition is like getting in the way and like halting production.
Yeah.
And so like if Stadia is also like involved with like the push for Google Fiber, that like Comcast and them are just gonna be, there with fucking I wanted to make a medieval joke, but just like there with swords and shields, like fucking cutting down their like attacking their castle.
300.
Like,
they got the Spartans there. No.
like yeah, trying to make some kind of joke there, but like it's going to be a political war of all the internet providers against Google because Stadia would hugely benefit from their Google Fiber plans that didn't really get out there. And hell, considering how good Google Fiber was supposed to be and how few people got it because of that political spectrum, we love PlayStation and Sony, but we full well know that PlayStation and Sony are going to be sitting there like fucking putting the axe or the knife in the back of Google Stadia. The same way that Comcast was putting the knife in the back of Google Fiber.
100%. Yeah, that's my thought on it. Like basically this is not a service that I will ever be able to access in my current situation.
Yeah.
So I can't be like, yeah, dude, I'm so fucking hyped for this. I think the price point's pretty good. I'd like to know more about this pro subscription. Like if I can still just buy the fucking equipment and play. Like what's the difference between just owning it and having a pro subscription, or is it more like WoW where I pay the box price but then I also pay $20 a month to access these games? So
Yeah.
I need a little more info on that. I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it's a natural progression from, having streaming everything else to streaming games.
Definitely.
Like why would you not? I just don't think Google is going to be capable of providing the service that they say they're going to be able to provide to everyone. And that's my 2 cents. You
At
got
least not right away though.
not right away, but like
I am kind of
10
with
years.
Trevor, where 10 years from now, this might be hailed as like the start.
Could be.
I mean, they've also been saying that about like Oculus and stuff too, but who knows where we'll be in 10 years?
Playing Fortnite.
Probably with kids dreaming of free
still
time
playing
to play video
Fortnite.
games.
Still playing Fortnite. Still playing League of Legends. That's where we'll be.
Still,
Hell yeah.
somehow World of Warcraft will still be going.
Oh yeah.
They'll bring back vanilla too.
Yeah,
They'll
no
go
kidding.
vanilla, and then vanilla will just go through the whole release schedule again, and we'll
That'd
be
be
here in 12
hilarious,
years.
dude.
Well, we'll go back to original vanilla again.
Vanilla Resetto.
I still don't know what the long-term plan on that is. Like when people get 6 months in and have caught up on all the content, like what do you do?
What do you do? Yeah, you just hold that L. That's what you fucking do. You just paid $60
Like, that
for
was
a
half
game.
the thing with World of Warcraft is like you're releasing these patches to keep people coming back and keep people coming back, and the next expansion to keep coming back, because people would finish what the game had to offer. Anyway,
Nope.
we're
All
2
right.
hours.
Let's call it. Matt, you want to pimp us out? Fucking send us off.
Yeah. It's an interesting discussion to say the least. It's a lot. It's hard. It's fun to speculate what's going on in the future. At the end of the day, all that really matters is when I say go play a game, you should probably go play it. You should probably just play it.
Stream it
'cause
on
I'm right.
Stadia.
I'm
Whatever.
right.
What are you
I'm
playing
right.
right now, Matt?
What is the community challenge for next week, though?
I was thinking about microtransactions because we actually, as I researched earlier, have never brought it up in
Sure.
a community challenge.
I think we did.
We
with
talked a lot
indirectly,
about
I
it
think.
here.
indirectly, yeah. All right. Microtransactions. Let's go.
How many Ultimate Team packs have you fucking opened? I want the answers, sports game players.
Let's be real. Let's not be like, oh, I hate that there's skin in chest. Be real about what you spend your money on, how you feel about it. Don't be ashamed of your buying habits, because guess what? A shit ton of people are buying into this. That's why it's popular. So
Yep.
let's be real. We've all spent money here. Let's talk about it again next week.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I like it. Share us what kind of microtransaction purchases do you do? Like, what games did you invest in? What games did you say fuck you? I'm not
Yeah.
investing in. Just a little bit of your microtransaction history.
I like it.
Give me your
What do you
bank
think
account details, bruh. Give them to
Yeah. Gonna need your bank and your SIN number.
Well, yeah, I just dumped all this money into Monster Hunter, so
Oh, I know.
All right,
And
Matt.
you didn't even get it on the right platform. You fucking bought.
dude.
Anyway.
you originally were playing it on PlayStation.
I didn't really get that far into the PlayStation version.
Oh, really?
'cause
I actually didn't know you had it on Steam. But I'm not going back and redoing all of what I just did. All right.
Yeah, you are.
It's that good, boy. All right, Matt, sign us off.
No.
Sign us off.
I don't want to refarm Angerath 20 more times.
You really shouldn't have even farmed him. I'm not going to say that to you, but you really shouldn't have farmed him at all. But
I was
anyway,
having fun.
I know. It's good that you were, but you don't need to. Thank you so much for checking out SideQuest Arcade. Thank you for listening. You guys are.
It's $75 on Steam. No,
Hey, it's
I'm good.
down $5. You're doing
I'm
it.
good.
No, you're not. You'll do it.
No.
Don't be. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Yeah. You're gonna fucking buy it, Brian. What the fuck? Listen, Monster Hunter World. That's the conclusion of this episode. Is a good game. Y'all should be playing it. Flint, thank you so much for coming out. Appreciate talking to you, man.
Absolutely,
Trevor.
buddy.
Let's do some ranked. Let's frag out, baby. Let's go. Brian, you fucking suck, dude. I hate your guts. I don't ever want to see you on this fucking pot. No, I love you, man. That's all. Much love. Good to see you back.
See you in a couple
Fuck
of weeks, man.
Yeah,
See you in a
Fuck-
month and a half.
See you in a month and a half, by the way.
See you in a month and a half.
All right. Thank you so much for checking out SideQuest Arcade. Make sure you click all the links below. Follow us on Twitter. Check out the Discord. We're popping. Yeah.
SQA Podcast
If you want to buy a
.com.
t-shirt, you want SQA Podcast.com. SQA Podcast.com.
Bye-bye.